Welcome back to Really Okay Hockey Podcast, episode 5. We're going to be covering the Gateway Warrior Classic and the end of the Four Nations, which did not end how we liked it. But to start things off, we are very honored to have our first guest on the pod today. They're not here with us now, but Jurky and I did a interview with them. So we're going to cut to our interview with the wonderful Mr. Drew Boyd. He's been the tournament director for the Gateway Warrior Classic, and he is with the St. Louis Blues Warrior Hockey Organization. So we're going to go ahead and cut to that.
Millennial pause.
Millennial pause for Jake. Yeah. Millennial pause for Jake. Make sure that's in the cut when we come back.
I might leave it.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Really Okay Hockey Podcast. We are very honored to have our first guest to the podcast, Mr. Drew Boyd of the St. Louis Blues Warriors Hockey Organization. Welcome, Drew, to the podcast. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, with the organization.
My name is Drew Boyd. I've been with the Blues Warriors for almost 5 years. Started September of 2019. Never played hockey a day in my life. Currently now, no longer a player. I am now on helping on the coaching staff side of things, but played at the Delta level for the past 4.5 years. Just finished up my last stint as the tournament director for the Gateway Warrior Classic. Prior to that, prior Air Force for 8.5 years. I was a UAV sensor operator, so drone guy, out at Cannon Air Force Base, New Mexico.
Nice. Are you originally from the St. Louis area? Is that how you ended up back there?
I am from Southeast Missouri.
Missouri.
About an hour and a half away from St. Louis.
Nice. I didn't know this was your last year, and I'm kind of sad I missed it. We were, for those that don't know, we were supposed to do a live podcast, but I ran into some issues and couldn't make it down. It's kind of sad I missed your last one.
I didn't know it was going to be my last year either until Sunday, and I was like, oh, yep, it's done. My body can't do it no more.
Yeah. I remember the year before we were chatting with you and your wife, I think, about what it takes to, to put the tournament on every year. And she kind of laughed and she said, find someone that's single.
Yeah, pretty much. It's 6 months of, the way I do it, 6 months at a minimum dedication.
Yeah. What started that? I know we've been coming to the tournament for a few years now, but I don't think I really knew that it was running for 5 years. How'd you get into that? Did you just kind of take the lead on that?
So the first Gateway was started by Emily and Steve Hana. And then the second year I was like, I really want to kind of do more besides just sitting in the background. So I was like, hey, do you need help? And Emily was like, yeah. And then all of a sudden it was like, hey, it's all yours. So in my head, I already had a lot of things that I wanted to accomplish. Obviously, I wasn't going to do it in 1 year. But I had a long-term goal for, the Gateway. And so I took it over back in 2021 because I think 2020 was the first year. Yeah. And I had ideas in my head, and, obviously I can come up with all the ideas in the world, but if money's not there, then you obviously can't do it. But, we've grown. Every year we have grown. This past one was the largest one we've had so far with, I think, 31 teams total from Bravo down to Delta.
Nice.
Yeah. We're slowly getting more teams, from across the country. Obviously, Warrior Hockey is growing every year. So really trying to focus on those teams that don't get to go out to Warrior Classic or Nationals and bringing them into ours. Because I would like to say we're probably one of the biggest ones. Obviously, Hendy's outside of, Nationals and Warrior Classic, Hendy's probably the biggest. But non-USA ran, I think we're the biggest.
Yeah, and it's... we tell people constantly, it's a great tournament. St. Louis is probably our favorite one to go to every year.
I appreciate that.
It's you guys run it. There's obviously kinks every year. Honestly, I think that's why the vets kind of like Warrior is because like, you know, you'll have issues every year, but like, I mean, as far as Warriors well and above, you know, better than like some other stuff, like Can-Am, stuff like that. Like, we played those tournaments, and it's just not fun because it's just
Yeah,
horrible.
you know, Warrior hockey it's a different breed. Obviously, we share the same thing at the end of the day. I mean, it's never going to be perfect. We do the best that we can. Like I have a guy who spends weeks just going through everybody's um, score sheets that what we can find. Obviously, we're not going to find everything, but for the most part, we put in hours and hours to making sure that we put it on as fair as possible.
Yeah, and
We
it
don't
shows.
just throw you in there because we want to. You know, like USA Hockey, you go to Classic or Nationals, and you could be a Bravo team and say, "I'm playing Delta," and they're like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
you know, we've told teams, "Yeah, no, that ain't happening. You're going to be playing up here."
yeah. No, I know we had one year we had an issue where we just did not feel comfortable. We were playing like we just got blown out. I mean, you know, it's unfortunate going to a tournament and you can't compete, but you know, just being able to play with the guys and everything. But like I said, you know, you realized there was an issue and you know you made it right. And
Yep.
I know the guys had a much better time this year, you know, playing. So um, like if there are problems, it's always corrected, you know. So and a lot of times there's just not anything going wrong, you know. So
Like every year, you guys are working on the kinks, and I feel like that's what's going to create, a really good tournament. Is you learn from past mistakes and you fix them. And I mean, you're gonna run into roadblocks everywhere you go, But from what I've seen and what I've witnessed, I've been to your tournament. Let's say three of them. I've been to three of them, and progressively they've gotten better each year. So
Yeah, I mean, there's always lessons to be learned, and there's always kinks. I mean, and especially since it's growing, like new players come about, right? And obviously, let's say, you're a brand new player to Warrior Hockey, but you've been playing all your life. Like, obviously, I'm not going to catch that because I know nothing about you. But stuff like that falls through the cracks. It happens. I mean, we're human at the end of the day. But we like to say that we do our due diligence to the best of our ability.
yeah, it definitely shows.
yeah, I mean, no, yeah, no. I personally haven't had any complaints. I think it's a pretty good segue as well. You guys put on a great tournament every year, it seems like. But I mean, in order to put something on like that, you got to have the funds to do it. What's it like getting sponsors to help that tournament function every year?
So the first year that I did this on my own, I emailed companies across the country. Like no joke, I just spammed everybody I could think of. I focused a lot in the St. Louis area. I mean, St. Louis is we're pretty big on veteran-owned business, so I was trying to do my best to get as many as those are. I mean, we have Purina, who, for the past 4 years has consistently, gave us money for this, and then some other donations here and there. But as I have done this year after year, it's gotten harder. I mean, obviously, without going into politics, the economy, whoever's in charge really dictates what we can and can't do at the end of the day. This year was a struggle. I'm not even going to lie. I mean, I think probably $20,000 less than what I got the year before, and probably $40,000 from the year prior to that. I mean, when stuff's tight, stuff's tight. You just have to make do. I mean, that's why we didn't have a player party like we have in the past. We have to cut certain things that, financially would be great to pull off, but when you don't have the money, you just make do.
Yeah, that's got to be tough. I know. Personally, I've tried to find sponsorships for different events here and there, and like I know it's tough, but like you guys have a much bigger operation than I've ever attempted to put on, so I couldn't even imagine trying that. And every year, like we always seen like Grunt Style and First Form there, like big companies and that come out and support the vets, and
Yep.
just kind of give stuff away. Really, like I've gotten free T-shirts and supplements and stuff like that. So
Yeah, and so when Grunt Style came out, I didn't even know. Somebody was like, "Oh, hey, Grunt Style's here," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And yeah, they're past. I mean, he brought in 3,000 T-shirts just to give away. I didn't, and that was their first year because they now have a location in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Oh, okay." But yeah, I mean, it's hard. But the one thing I've tried to preach to our organization was if you want money, you have to do something in order to earn it, right? You need to be out in the community. You have to be giving back. I mean, it's great to play hockey. I mean, I love the sport of hockey. But at the end of the day, most places don't care that you are disabled veterans playing hockey. Let's be real, right?
Yeah.
It's what are you going to do to be like, hey, this is why you need to fund us. And that's something that, other than the tournament, I run Toys for Tots, our Army-Navy game where we collect toys and then we go out and pass those out. We do an I-70 showdown with Kansas City we just brought in Tulsa this past one, but, it's to raise money for cancer awareness. We do, we do all kinds of stuff now. But, in the beginning, it was just vets playing hockey. Now it's more... We're now starting to really focus on the let's get out, let's get our name really known by the public, and then move from there. And it's starting to pay off.
Yeah, I think that the more you give back to your community and, that the community sees it and they're more willing to help, Like I know these guys, like they came out and helped these kids or, cleaned up the park or something like that, And that's one thing that I hope a lot of warrior organizations across the country could see and kind of try to get better at. I know, we got a couple groups here in Vegas that, I want to see us doing more, to seeing what we can do to give back. And so that's a great point.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, start somewhere, find your closest Marine Corps league and say, hey, why don't we put on a game for Toys for Tots? We bring in toys and then go help them pass it out. I'm sure there's one out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I tried to set up a game here for Toys for Tots, and the timing just wasn't right, unfortunately. But hopefully next year we'll get that going.
Yep. It's planning.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's got to start like now because I started kind of late. I just was fortunate to have a contact with the Henderson Silver Knights, our AHL team with the Knights, and. They were super excited to to host us and to help us make something out of it. It was just
yeah, there's a game there, isn't it? Battleborn Veterans Hockey against the Sentinels.
Yep.
Is that it? What are the Sentinels? What is that?
Sentinels is their police and fire, first responders,
Okay.
and military. I played with them for a little bit too. They're a great organization here too. So. Yeah, doing stuff like that definitely takes a lot more planning than I gave it last time. So,
I mean, but like Drew said, it's got to be. It can't just be vets playing hockey. There's got to be something that's like, hey, we're here for the community. We're here to give back. We're here to help out, and sets a great foundation of how you can build. What we're trying to build here.
Yeah, and I picked that up because I Facebook stalk every organization. I'm not even gonna lie, and Colorado really stood out to me. I mean, Colorado was always out doing soup kitchens and stuff like that with the homeless, and I was like, we should do the same thing. Like, there's no reason we shouldn't be. I mean, we've all struggled in one way or another. And what better way, now that we have our feet somewhat on the ground, is to help those that really need it too. And yeah, like I said, I mean, you start doing that and the money will come. It may take a while, but you have to get out there and do it.
Yeah, and then the more warrior organizations that do this, like it just creates that better name for the whole program. Like especially those businesses that are kind of national, they're like, oh, we dealt with the St. Louis Blues Warriors, and they were a great organization. Like, yeah, we're going to help this other organization in a different city,
right?
Just because they know that's what Warrior stands for. Is it's we're about helping disabled vets, but at the same time, we're about making our communities better as well.
Yep.
Hey, so I want to kind of backpedal here a little bit and kind of steer away from just the organization itself. How did you get started in hockey, Drew? Because I know you kind of help the Blues, Warriors, and where they're at now. But like you personally, how did you start getting in hockey?
So it's funny. A guy I used to work with, Mike Duncan. He's on the blue team. He and I worked together, and he had found a new job, moved on, and I saw his Facebook, and I'm like, he's playing hockey. And he's like, oh, I'm playing for St. Louis Blues Warriors, brand new organization. It's for disabled veterans. And I was like, man, that'd be really cool. I just don't know how to skate. I don't know how to play. I mean, I've skated 5 times in my whole life, as a kid, and that was it. And I was like, that'd be really cool to do, but I can't do it. And he's like, oh, no, they'll teach you. I was like, no, you won't. There's no way somebody's going to spend that much time teaching me how to do this. Like, the way I thought was, if you didn't play hockey as a kid, you're not playing as an adult. Because it's a tough sport to learn as an adult. I mean, kids, it's easier for them, but they got a lot of time. But adults, especially a broken one, like there is no way I am going to get my happy ass out there on the ice and play hockey. And he's like, no, just sign up. So, I signed up, and at that same time, full disclosure, I'd been drinking a lot. And I signed up for the UFC and the WWE all at the same time. Only got one phone call, and that was the Blues Warriors. And they were like, oh yeah, come on. I told him, I don't know how to do any of this stuff. And then, so I showed up after I got the phone call, and I mean, we have great coaching staff, Rob Ramage, Don Harvey, Mike McKenna, Jeff Lavecchio as our fitness guy. I mean, all these guys have played the sport of hockey for their whole life. And, once you get on the ice, they're like, hey, here's how you do this. Here's how you do that. And obviously it takes time you have to learn it yourself too, right? You can't just expect, one day a week you're going to pick up hockey and be phenomenal. I mean, there was a lot of times I'd go stick and puck or drop in hockey after that. Once I got my skates, got used to skating and really learned how to go forward, not so much backwards at the time, but, just small things. And then you just start just putting in the work. And, I mean, it's taken me 4 years to do it, but I got somewhat okay.
Did they provide you with gear or?
So we have partnered with Lindenwood and the Blues for certain things. So I've never bought a stick. All my sticks have either come from the St. Louis Blues as a lefty, right? There's a ton of right-handed players. They all want to have right-handed sticks. Well,
and they're so
there's
weird,
a lot
right?
of left-handed sticks that are unclaimed, and guess what? I got them all. And that was before I learned about flex. And then I was like, oh, I'm sitting here rocking a freaking, De La Rosa's stick, and it was like 120 flex, and I don't even know what I'm doing with it. Yeah, whatever. I don't need that. But I mean, I did buy my own gear. But we do have, guys that have been playing forever. They have their leftover gear. They have donated to the organization. Lindenwood donated some. The Blues have. I mean, so if you're really hard up for stuff, I mean, we'll make it work.
That's awesome. That's when I was with the Dallas organization, they actually had a Connex full of used gear that nobody had, and anybody that wanted to come out, I think they did an annual clinic where it was just veterans or their families where they could come out and same thing, teach them how to skate, and see if they liked it, they can keep coming out, and if not, at least you tried,
Right.
But no, I think that's awesome. I think a lot more organizations need to do that, just kind of have like their own lending closet in a sense. And,
Yeah, I mean, and I get it. It's hard for a lot of them. I mean, we're blessed. I won't even lie. We have the backing of the St. Louis Blues, and there's a lot of organizations that are in the area of a NHL organization that aren't so fortunate, but it's not impossible to get. But like guys out in Oklahoma or Nebraska, right? They're really fending for themselves, trying to figure it out. And I think at the end of the day, if Warrior hockey wanted to make this work, I think that's where you kind of all come together I mean, we're really good at tactically acquiring some stuff here and there, and if we have to, got some stuff that we don't use that maybe another organization can use, why not send it out that way? I don't know. I mean, but, for you guys, I don't know if you guys are backed by the Knights yet. I know that was kind of in the works.
We're very close, actually.
Yeah.
So.
But, having that backing really does help. I mean, Dallas got it. I think Colorado has it, Carolina, Florida. You'll start to see these organizations when the NHL starts to really pay attention to what's going on, that they'll be like, hey, let's get these guys some gear. But then it becomes up to us to help our own and help those that can't, they don't have the backings, like Alaska. I mean, come on. Of course, I mean, they play hockey as kids anyway, so I think they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to ask Z about that. He played for them for a bit.
Zimmy played for Alaska Warriors, and he had a great time up there.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell though, like a lot of the organizations that have the NHL team backing, like they're the organizations that are doing really well. Like going to these tournaments and winning, on a regular basis and stuff like that. And I know when we played you guys. I didn't go this year, obviously, but last year I went, and you guys were our first game, and the skill level was like pretty much the same. Like it was a good fit, skill matchup, but you could tell like that the Blues organization is coached really well, because like you guys were walking circles around it. I think we lost 6-0 that first game against you guys, and we were competing, so
the Blues alumni really. I mean, they are really the workhorse of our coaching staff. I mean, we have almost every alumni that's out there has been on the ice with us at one point and, shown their tips and tricks. I mean, Reed Lowe has been out multiple times and, told us his story of, him being an enforcer. And then their NHL was like, hey, we're kind of moving away from that. You might want to learn how to skate. And, he would drive hours to go get skating lessons, and he's an NHL player. I mean, so then he came to our practice and like, here's what I learned. Here's how you make your stride better. Here's how you, get those angles right and use your edges. And these guys that we have just really focus on the basics, and you don't go past the basics until you got it down.
Yeah. I know that's. I'm also. I started hockey, after my military service, and I've been playing like I think 10 years. But like, that's the one thing a lot of us miss out on. So like Jurky played as a kid, and so they focus more on those fundamentals, that kind of like that the building block stuff, And when we kind of start out as adults, obviously we want to learn how to shoot. We want to, get skating down as best we can, and so. We miss out on a lot of that, the fundamentals of hockey and skating and that kind of stuff. And I think you can definitely tell, when you see one of us, skating around rather than Jurky, who's got it like, pretty much all together. So like, I'm just inflating his ego right now. But, even me, like I've been playing for a while, and, skating's still my weak point, So it's funny, I watched my kid. My youngest is starting to play hockey, and like I'll watch his lessons when we're taking the skating lessons, and I'm taking stuff away from what I see, his coaches, working with him. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try that next time I get a stick and puck or something like that.
So I know you mentioned that Jeff is your guys' conditioning coach, which I remember running to him. Was it maybe 2 or 3 years ago? I played against him in the alumni game, and he's just a great guy all around. I think he actually when he sent out that code, I joined up with you guys for the the off ice workouts, and I still use that to this day. To kind of stay loose, stay limber as much as I can, try to keep the pounds off. But what else is everybody else's role for your guys' coaching staff? So you said you guys work on basic fundamentals for new players, and I know you have different tiers for the program. I'm sure they work on different stuff. Can you describe those different levels and how they contribute?
So, I mean, are you talking about like coaching-wise?
Coaching-wise, skating lessons, etc.
Yeah, so like we have Mike McKenna, who played the NHL for a long time as a goalie, and he's the goalie coach. So he comes out when he can. I mean, he just opened his own business. He owns a Macadoodles, which is a Missouri brand liquor store. But, you know, he comes out and he shows the goalies at all levels, right? Not just the upper, lower. You know, he's out there for all of them when it's their practice time. You know, working on whatever they do with their skates. You know, pushing off, all that stuff. When you get into the upper level, obviously the coaches still, I mean, you still have like Don Harvey and Scoey and Coach Betty. Those are the three main coaches for all the teams. So we have almost 6 teams total, right? So we have 2 Delta, a Charlie, a Bravo, and an Alpha. So, you know, at the Alpha level, Alpha Bravo level, it's more of really refining your skills, you know, and making the plays happen. You get into Charlie, you're kind of still working on the minor details, but then you're also kind of advancing the drills. And at the Delta level, it's mostly, you know, you're still working the drills, but there are, I mean, I guess I'll use the word, it's dumbed down, right? So easiest possible level. We're not getting it too crazy.
Simplified.
Yep, simplified, right? So you're not going crazy doing like transitions here and there. But you're really still working on the passes, the you know, the working the angles and all that stuff. But so yeah, Coach Harv does all that for every level. He changes it up.
That's awesome. I love that. And that's how it should be, you know, with any alumni or ex-NHL or even an ex-college guy. Like, you don't have to have that huge resume to be like, hey, I'm going to show up to these practices. I'm going to help these vets learn to play hockey and, you know, help them get better. Because at the end of the day, that's our outlet. That's one of our only outlets that, you know, we can come out to. We can kind of be ourselves. For me, I can be myself. And so on and so forth. Did you have anything else, Nate? Touch base on the Blues Warriors hockey, or did you want to move on to the next subject here? This one's going to get lengthy.
Anything you want to tell us about the Blues organization? Like, how long how'd you guys get your Blues affiliation? I think a lot of
you know,
teams
I don't know the details behind that, but I know Nathan Laup he worked with the Blues. Since he started him, you know, Steve Hayna, Emily Hayna, Jared McGowan, those guys kind of they're the founders of the organization. And I think they came up with a concept that they wanted to present to the Blues. And then they found their way to the front office and then said, hey, here's what we want. Like, here's what we're doing. Do you guys want to be on board, or how can you support us? And then it was probably some back and forth and whatnot. I don't know the logistics of it, but I know there was talks, you know, between the founding members and the Blues, and then they were just like, yeah, we're in.
Yeah, I know. Like, we've been working for years now trying to get in, you know, get the ear of the Knights, and that's made some really good progressions, you know, over the past year. So like a lot of teams, like I feel like the more Warrior teams that can, you know, make this connection, it's better for the program, and I think better for the NHL as a whole. You know, when, you know, fans and people outside see what the NHL and the teams are doing for vets, like, that's just gonna, you know, blow the league up even better.
Right. It's hard for Vegas because we don't quite have an alumni yet.
Yeah.
I think we have, you know, Derek England running around. I think Hairzy's son was doing lessons with him. Was it this morning or was it yesterday?
It was a couple of days ago, yeah.
A couple of days ago, and then I guess we had Alex Tuck until he got traded.
Yeah.
Because he, you know, American born, and he was all about the veterans, and it seemed like they had a good thing, but it was cut short.
I'm gonna get Jack.
I'm gonna get Jack from you guys too, so you know.
Yeah. We gotta get Jack, dude. I mean, he was just in Four Nations, crushing it with the Kachuk brothers, dude. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
The face of USA hockey is now the Kachuk brothers.
Yeah.
At first, I wasn't a fan, and then when they were playing for the team I was going for, I was like, oh, okay, I see it. I guess it's like being a Tom Wilson fan with the Caps, right?
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, but then you got 2 of them.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, they came out, I want to say 3 years ago. So, the Chuck brothers and the dad. I mean, they were all out for our practice, and everybody had a blast with them. They are. I did not happen to make it. I had to go to work, sadly. But everybody that talked about it when those guys showed up, they were like, it was the coolest thing ever. I mean, they are down to earth, and they love what we're doing. And I think you really start to put it in people's ears. I think it'll catch eventually. It just takes time.
Yeah, I know. I saw Greg post a picture with Makachuk the other day, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." And especially that he's not a blue; he's never been a blue, but
Right.
because of his dad, obviously he's the boys make it back and give back to their dad's kind of alma mater. And I know I've seen the Florida Panthers Warriors; they do stuff down there with them too. So it's great seeing these pro athletes. That don't really have to do much, but like they get excited, to work with vets and, see our passion for hockey, is, right up there with theirs. So
You got to start getting, you got to make them custom mouth guards. So they just start gnawing on them. You're like, oh yeah, there's our logo.
Right. I mean, we keep seeing after Blues games. I mean, there's Bennington wears a Blues Warrior hat when he does his little press release and stuff like that. More and more we start seeing it on these players, and it's like, holy shit! Like, how did you?
Like that's
one, how did you get that? And two, like, that's awesome.
Yeah,
it's very cool. We can't talk about Benner because he's I'm still salty.
Oh yeah, we're some very salty Americans right now.
You know what? Whatever. It is what it is.
It is what it is, man.
1-1.
Yeah, it was cool he went out there. I know that he got a lot of hate before, that he doesn't kind of live up to that, starting role and everything. But, he went out there and stood on his head. And
Oh man, I'll admit I was the first one to start ragging on him because I guess watching Blues hockey when I can. Past couple seasons have been a little shaky. He doesn't really have the support back there, and being a Caps fan, like I know all about retooling and rebuilding on the fly. So, once you get the right players, it's going to start clicking, kind of like that cup run you guys had where you barely made it in and you just started wiping the floor with everybody else, man. So.
Yep.
Let's get to the lengthy subject. Can you tell us all about the Warrior Winter Classic, which I'm very excited to hear about because we kind of talk about that, like we see the Stadium Series, we see the Warrior Classic, and like, man, that'd be so cool to play in an outdoor barn like that. And you guys kind of had the name of having a Warrior Winter Classic. I know Vegas did it with who was it? Seattle, and went up there. And we played at the one of the practice rinks there, but where did you guys play? Did you guys get to go to the play on the ice? Did you get to go to the game? Like, what was that experience like?
Yeah, so obviously St. Louis played Chicago in the past Winter Classic, and we're talking about that one, right?
Yep.
Not the St. Louis one. All right, so when we went to Chicago, there are the Chicago Warriors up there, and every year around that time frame anyway, we go and play Chicago just as a friendly game, right? So when they were like, hey, the Warrior Classics or the Winter Classic's going to be here, why don't you guys come up? We'll play a game or two. It's at the practice facility for the Blackhawks. And then after that, a couple of you guys, when I say a couple, I mean like, I think it was 20 of us total. We got tickets, I think, from the Blues to go to the Winter Classic, and then Chicago gave like 20 tickets to the Chicago Warriors to go. So, that was like my real first time of being in Chicago. I've been there once in 2004. I don't remember it. I was, right out of high school, stuff like that. So I don't remember anything. So that was, I'm going to claim that as my first time. But, going to Wrigley Field, we were 2 rows from, I think, first base. So we're like right there.
Whoa.
That's good
Wow.
tickets.
Next to everything, right? The only bad thing was they elevated the ice. So they built a platform. And so all I saw was heads circling around during the game, right? But whatever, right? Because it's a once in a lifetime, opportunity. And then we were right next to where the Blues came out to go to the rink, so they would walk by us. And if you go to the Blues Facebook, I'm actually on there,
Nice.
screaming and stuff. But I have the hockey.
Oh
stick
yeah.
Oh man, that's sweet.
here. Yeah. But they'd stop and take pictures with us and stuff like that because everybody's wearing their Blues Warriors gear and they already know us as it is. One of the Chicago guys, his son got a stick from a Blues player.
Nice.
Yeah, because eventually we all found each other and just kind of merged in one location because people started leaving from Chicago because they were losing, and so like all the Warriors just kind of flocked from all over the stadium into where we were at, and then we're all just having a good time, and talking to the Blues as they're leaving, and everything. It was a great experience. Something that my wife is pretty salty about that she didn't go because we only got it wasn't you plus one, it was just you.
Yeah.
And if I had to pay for it, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if I'd go. That's a lot of money to fork out tickets to the Winter Classic, let alone Chicago.
That's like my wife was salty that you and I went on our bro date to F1.
Oh yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah. We went, and I was showing her pictures. She's like, man, I really wanted to go. And she didn't talk to me the rest of the day. I was like, you okay? Is everything all right?
Yeah.
I'll take you next year.
Yeah.
I was like, I even told my wife, I'm like, are you sure? And she goes, yeah, it's a once in a lifetime. She goes, I'm not happy with you, but you got to go.
Yeah.
Hell
I was
yeah.
like, all right, I could stay home. You sure? But yeah, no, it was great. It was probably one of the coolest things I've seen.
Now, you mentioned the Blues Winter Classic. Was that out in the barn?
No, that one was on, they did that one at Busch Stadium.
Wow.
But I think that was our very first year as an organization. So I think we had tried to set up something, but it just didn't come to fruition. But yeah, they made it. You have to look at the pictures of it. I think they did like a guitar-shaped theme. It was like all music themed because St. Louis is kind of jazz and all that stuff. So they made it real. It was really cool to see. I didn't go to it, but watched it on TV and stuff.
So the organization played outdoors. Who did you guys play? Do you remember?
No, I don't think we were able to attend that one as an organization that year because that was our very first year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. And so when you play in Chicago, you said it was a really good experience. Was it a pretty competitive game? What kind of level do you say it was? D through.
We sent a mixture of Alpha to Delta, right? It was pretty much everybody that was going to the Winter Classic was kind of playing. We played their Bravo team that just won the Gateway Classic.
Okay.
So as you can imagine, it was a stomping. I think they won 7-1.
Oh, wow.
Which
Okay.
we returned the favor at Winter Classic and won 6-1.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
So you guys are 1-1. Are you guys looking forward to a rematch?
Yeah.
No. No.
But now the Chicago guys, though, they're a great group of people. Very hospitable, and they're like I said, they're just great people. I haven't really met a Warrior organization minus Philly Alpha that I did not like. I'm gonna throw that on there. I hope they listen.
I think Philly knows that they're a tough group to love, but I think they also pride themselves in that. It's a tough game to play against Philly. We did a couple years ago. We played them, and we were fortunate to come out on top. And so, but I think they live up to that same Philly kind of like gritty person, So
and that just kind of comes with the colors of the package. What was it? The first time they hosted their Warrior tournament, I was actually tagged along with Colorado in the famed Philly versus Colorado beatdown that was going on.
That was my first ever Warrior tournament.
In Philly? Or I guess in
yeah,
Jersey.
Philly. And that was rough. So, I had only been playing not even a year, I don't even think. And, we played at a Delta level. We played Philly Charlie because they rostered at the lowest level. And, they'll say they beat us 13-3, but it was 23-3. I mean, it was a beatdown.
Jeez.
And I was like, huh, like this sucks. But I mean, I had a blast, but it sucked.
It's funny because we talk about Philly like that, but I think at one point during that game I headbutted somebody, but then we go to the social and it's like, hey, you good? We're good. All right, let's have a beer together.
Right.
And that's what I love about Warrior Hockey, man. Is you could absolutely hate someone's guts for 60 minutes maybe, and then you get off the ice and it's like, all right, we're back to having a good time with our boys. And some people of course take it overboard a bit, but at the end of the day, the people that have been in the program for long enough kind of know what the program is meant for.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I appreciate about Warrior Hockey, and I'm probably never going to quit until I can't walk anymore. So
yeah, I mean I've made friends from every organization, and I mean we've gotten into some scuffs with some people, and after that you're like, hey, let's go drink a beer. You go drink a beer, and then you're good until you get back on the ice again.
Yeah.
But,
right.
I mean, I'm friends with all of them still. I mean, I'm friends with most of them on Facebook. I got some that I text and stuff like that, and email. But I have no hard feelings towards really anybody.
And Warrior Hockey, it's such a brotherhood, sisterhood, man. And I just, I love that about it.
Yeah, we've done that before too. I think it was in Denver. Our team and Carolina, the Warriors, we played against each other, and it was a tough game. Like I think I got taken out like slide tackled or something like that. Like it was wild. And then right after the game, we went and watched Jurky. He was playing on our upper team, and it just so happens that I think you guys were playing their upper team. And so both the teams that had just faced each other, we met in the bleachers and we were all drinking, and the whole group was intermixed. There wasn't a line down like our team versus you team, and it was everyone just hanging out, having a great time. And it's like the game before it didn't even matter.
Right.
Funny thing about that game was I actually knew two of those guys from when I played youth hockey. One of them I played with Bantams, and then the other one I played juniors with. So as soon as I saw them, we were just yapping right off the bat, like, how you been, buddy? So like the whole time I'm on his ass, give him a couple here, let him know I'm there. But at the end of the day, I think they actually beat us pretty severely. I think it was 7-3 maybe. But at the end of the day, you get in the handshake line and it's like, all right, let's go catch up.
Yeah.
Let's go get a beer.
Yep.
Right, exactly. We'll take another, sharp turn here. Did you want to talk to us, Drew, about your military background? I know you said you were in the Air Force for 8 years.
Yep.
You want to describe, how your experience was, your job, and just kind of how your time in the military was?
So I have I guess it's not a weird military career. So when I joined the military, at first I wanted to join the Marines. I don't know why. I did. And my mom talked me out of it. So I'm like, all right, I'll go to the Air Force.
Thank God.
But I'm going to find whatever job possible that pretty much puts me on the front line. So I joined the Air Force doing pararescue.
Nice.
So Air Force Special Operations stuff. Went through, BSOC, which is kind of like the beginning portion of it. Hurt my hip or whatnot, so then I got washed out. And then placed into services, which in the Air Force is food, fitness, mortuary, and lodging. Like the lowest of the low, right? I was pissed. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm just going to leave the military right now. They're like, no. You do your time. You come back to us in 18 months. And you'll be good to go. So I'm like, all right, well, I go through that school, and then I get to my first duty station at Luke Air Force Base in Phoenix, Arizona, which, if you've never been to Phoenix, I mean, it's like Vegas, right? It's hot, desert,
Dry.
never go back.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I can't do this. Like, I need to do something different, So I got my deployment orders to, I think I was supposed to go to IUD or something like that. And I was like, really? Like, this is dumb. This is not a deployment. this is R&R. And then one of the girls that was supposed to go to Afghanistan waited to the last minute to tell everybody that she had a dental disqualification. So they're like, hey, Drew, you're going. I'm like, all right. So I went to Fort Riley, Kansas for 4 months, learned how to do the Army shit, right? Kicking doors, Humvees, firing all kinds of crew serve weapons. I loved it. Greatest time of my life. Ship out to Afghanistan for about 7 months. And that's all I did for 7 months was do convoys and kicking doors. And I was like, this is the greatest thing in the world. Like, why do infantry guys bitch so much?
And you get to go back to your desk and chair when you're done, man. Yeah. It's like you get to do the cool guy stuff, and then you get to be in the best for when you get back home, man.
Right.
That's sweet.
Yep. So then, so I went back home, came back home from that, went to Kuwait, worked protocol. So all I was doing was dealing with, 07s and above and senators and getting them off their plane, handling their luggage.
Wow.
Like, being their bitch for 6 months. Like, all right, whatever. I met McCain, Lieberman. I met almost every senior enlisted military member except for the Marine Corps. Met every one of those guys. A lot of 4 stars, whatnot. And then by the base commander at the time, he was like, hey, I know you want to cross-train. What are you looking at? And I was like, well, I'm thinking about doing TAC-P or Intel. And he's like, well, you should look at UAVs. I was like, what's a UAV? He's like, drones. I was like, okay. So I applied. Drones was so UAV sensor operator was my top one. TAC-P was my second one. And then I had Intel from there, and the Air Force was like, all right, you qualify for all. So I was like, so do I get to pick? They said, nope. Get your first one. Always the first pick, right?
Yeah.
Luckily that worked out because my wife would have killed me. I would never made it to TAC-P school. She would have killed me. So yeah, I went to basic sensor operator school. Learned how to put bombs on targets. Did that. Got stationed at Cannon Air Force Base, and I know a lot of people talk about how horrible it is, but I loved it. That was probably the first time that I felt like the military was a family. Like, my neighbors were military. We all bonded the fact that we lived in the shittiest place in the world. And I don't care what any other branch has to say. If you've never been to Clovis, New Mexico, you've never been to the shittiest place in the world. It is horrible. Target was an hour and a half away.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a Walmart, and that was it.
That's the mall, baby.
Like, our Applebee's was also a nightclub at nighttime. That's how great it was.
That's a win right there.
That's awesome, man.
It was called Club Beats.
Awesome. Love it.
But it's ran by older people. It's in the Bible Belt. We had a security forces person. Her husband was a DJ in Vegas when they were stationed at Nellis. So she got stationed out there, and he was like, well, what am I going to do? I'm a DJ. There's nothing there, right? And even though Clovis is like the gateway for music to LA, so the last person to ever record there was Taylor Swift. So there's a lot of music history in Clovis. But he was like, you know what? I'm going to have a nightclub at the community center. And that dude, he made so much money in that one night. He paid the community center's rent for the next year or two. And then the people that were in charge were like, you're done. No more. We don't want
Club B's, man.
Right. It was horrible. He did the community a great service, but they were like, nah, we don't want that here. Take that out.
I don't know why that makes me think of, you've ever seen that meme and it's like, what the fuck is up, Denny's? That's like a DJ at Applebee's. Yo, oh man, that's so cool. That's fun, man.
But, I did that. I worked with, so Clovis is an AFSOC base, so Air Force Special Operations Command. So I only worked with, Navy SEALs, the Army guys that shall not be named, Rangers, all those guys. And,
Delta.
Yeah. Worked with those guys, and that's all I did for, a few years. And it was a lot of hours. It's not what you see on Xbox. I used to stare at a house for 4 months. Got to the point where I could draw that in my sleep.
That's wild, man.
Yeah. So, and I got out, and now I work at the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency. And if I see stuff like that, I'd be like, oh, I know exactly where you're at. Because I've spent so many days looking at a screen. I can tell you just by the grid coordinate where you're at, what country and everything like that. And yeah.
Whiskey Charlie. I thought, what was that? Was that the map identifier, Whiskey Charlie for Afghan? Or was that Whiskey Delta? Or I could be thinking about a training map.
I think it's Whiskey Charlie.
Yeah,
Hey.
It's funny. I brought my map back from Afghanistan. It's folded up somewhere, but it's got all the fucking map markings on it.
I think it's 42 Sierra Whiskey Charlie. I think is Afghanistan marker.
Yep.
Where were you? Where were you at in Afghanistan? When were you there?
Camp Black Horse, right outside of Kabul, right before the J-Bed Pass. I was there I think I was in there 2000. It was either 2007 or 2008. I can't remember. It may have been 2008. January 2008 is when I was there. So I've been all over ROKH East. I went to Mazar-e-Sharif, spent time in the mountains, went to Torkham Gate. I mean, I went everywhere besides south. I was there when they blew up the prison in Kandahar. And we sent some Marines down there, and I was supposed to go. But then they told me no because I was going home like the next week. So they're like, yeah, we're not going to risk it. You can just hang back. But they didn't see anything, so I was kind of pissed.
Yeah, I got to Fenty and J-Bad in December 2008.
Okay. I
there,
stayed at Camp Huey right across the street.
Yeah.
Unless it changed the names. I don't remember.
I'm not sure.
That's the last known place of Bin Laden. He watched it at the tea shop. Watched 9/11 at the tea shop right across the street.
I did not know
Damn.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I enjoyed it. I'd go back.
Yeah, I always said.
I think we all would.
I always said that. I mean, yeah, it was a war zone, but like the middle of the night, you look up at the stars and everything, and just
Beautiful.
you see everything. Gorgeous mountains all around there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, I've told my wife, I'm like, surprisingly, I mean, I know the Russians really tore up Afghanistan, but Afghanistan in a whole is actually a beautiful country.
Oh yeah.
I mean, had the Russians not really gone in there and just destroyed everything, I mean, you've seen movies of it in the past, and it was like ski resorts and all that stuff. It's beautiful.
Yeah. It's kind of unfortunate, how it's, kind of gone downhill because it really is a beautiful, beautiful land, and I love my time there, when I was there. So, yeah.
I get a lot of Afghanistan vibes here in Vegas, especially when you crest through Boulder City, you see this huge mountain range, light snow caps on top. It's all desert. You're like, oh my god.
Oh yeah.
This is amazing.
Yep.
With the Blues Warriors program, you guys are very successful. Do you have any other events that might be coming up that you're excited about personally?
I mean, me personally, I'm always excited about the ones I run, just because I know that I put the time in to make sure that it's right. So, obviously, the I-70 that we throw in about September 11th time frame, we go to Jeff City. So we meet Kansas City at our state capitol and play a game there at the right outside the capitol. And then Toys for Tots. I mean, I have never found an event that was more impactful than the Toys for Tots, because once we collect the toys, that's great. You're playing hockey. We do an Army-Navy game, so it's right before the Army-Navy football game. So we have an Army-Navy hockey game. And then, we've brought in, the 2 years I've done this, we've brought in, I think, about 16 boxes of toys, right?
Now, is that game an internal game with the Blues and surrounding? And you just pick,
so the
Army
first year I did it, it was only the Blues Warriors. And then last year I expanded, brought in Tulsa, and then brought in a local team. But, I mean,
Army Navy or kind of a mix?
Yeah, and then we ended it with an Army Navy game at the end.
Okay.
So this year I haven't really decided how the configuration of how I want to do it. I like bringing in local teams, but at the same time I don't, because they take things to a level that I don't want to see Warrior hockey go to, in terms of like when it gets chippy. Some of our guys don't know how to turn it off, right? And then it can be bad. And these guys don't understand that. They like to really push the buttons, and I don't want to see that, especially when this is a charity event.
Yeah.
So I will figure out the landscape of that one closer to time. But what's more impactful for me is not the game. It's going out closer to Christmas, and we go to like 5 different cities in the St. Louis metro area, and we deliver toys to the kids. And that right there, I mean, if you haven't done something like that, you need to, because that will be like, that's just like life-changing right there. You really get to see the less fortunate, like the smile on these kids' faces when you show up with like Nerf guns and Barbies and stuff like that, and a bicycle. It's like you just change their whole world.
That's awesome.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get something like that going here. I'm gonna try to keep doing, planning that Toys for Tots game for next year. So,
well, let me know, because I got contacts everywhere, buddy.
Yeah.
I have so the Marine Corps League that I work with here. He goes to Vegas to SHOT Show. He knows everybody, and he can set it up for you. So if you need somebody, I'll take care of it for you.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then so next month we have our gala, which is, I mean, a gala, way to raise money, right? So this will be our second one that we've done, and then we kind of just take a break from the internal stuff, and it's mostly, I think nationals are in April, and then Hindies in June, and then I know our Delta team is going to New York in August.
Before
something, I don't know. It's with the Long Island Warriors in August.
Interesting.
I think they have a tournament up there in August, and then obviously Warrior Classic in November.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm kind of curious about that, because was it the Vegas team where we were talking about, if we got picked up for a trip in New York? We were in New Jersey, actually.
I know what you're talking about, because they do that every year.
Yeah.
It's
hosted by the Long Island Warriors.
Yeah, last year our Alpha team got picked up, but that one is put on by USA Hockey. It's like the Armed Forces thing or something like that, where they pick teams that are in Warrior Hockey. Like you have to apply, and then they'll pick you or something like that.
Oh, the Federal Credit Union thing.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be so sick, man. So I think when I moved here, Lone Star had got picked up for it, and they were like, they were like calling me and they're like, "Hey man, you've been there since day one. Come out." I'm like, "Dude, I'm in a house with 2 kids and a bunch of boxes, man. I ain't going nowhere. So you guys have fun. You earned it.
Yep.
That's awesome. I did want to touch on one question personally.
Okay.
There's a lot of people that aren't quite sure what Warrior hockey is. They're just like, okay, it's a bunch of veterans that play hockey and they're getting recognition with, name. But like, to you personally, what is Warrior hockey to you? What does it mean? And how could you convince somebody to be like, hey, come out, check it out?
Man, so yes, Warrior hockey is disabled veterans playing hockey. I mean, plain and simple. But that's the small picture. Big picture. And I think it's the term that Warrior hockey in general uses now is hockey heals, right? So it's, at least in our organization, it is, we are using hockey as a way to heal veterans after they get out, whether it's, needing the camaraderie or mental health or physical aspect of it. We are healing them through the sport of hockey at all levels. It's a way to, from the highest level athlete to the never laced up his skates, to be a part of what the military was for all of us, which is camaraderie, right? We all, at the end of the day, whether we don't talk to our brothers and sisters like we used to, we still have them in the back of our heads. They're always there, right? And this is just warrior hockey is just another outlet that's like the military. So you could be, we have colonels or retired colonels all the way to, privates. But we're all one. And we're all just working together to help each other on and off the ice. We're just trying to make everybody better and really giving back to the veteran community and community as a whole. And that's, to me, that's what warrior hockey is. It's just a way to bring the military back to the civilian world in a different level. Just playing the sport of hockey and bringing that camaraderie back to our people.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great description. Personally, my time being involved with warrior hockey, because starting it, I think I figured out in 2019 what warrior hockey was. Started in Dallas and then made my way over to Vegas. And I've come across some pretty awesome people to, including myself, to where it's actually saved our lives. Whether it's a physical aspect of, getting back into a healthy figure, or just mentally being around people you can be comfortable with. And I know for me that provides an outlet like that, and many others that, kind of go through their unspoken battles,
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing that's ever hit me was when we were in Philly. I had never met Mike McKenna, never even heard of him. And everybody was like, oh, Mike this, Mike that. And I'm like, who the fuck is Mike? Like, I don't know this guy. And he shows up and he's like, oh, hey guys, I'm Mike. And I'm like, okay, hi. And he was coaching us. And it was great. But what really set the tone for me for warrior hockey was after our beatdown with Philly, one of the guys on my team, Bill Southers, was like, guys, I got to be real with you. And we all looked at him, everybody shut up. And I mean, he was in tears, and he's like, you saved my life. Right? I mean, this guy has a Purple Heart. He was, POW in Afghanistan, I think, either Afghanistan or Iraq for a short period of time. Really been through the ringer, right? And seeing him just open up to everybody about how being back with his brothers and sisters, even though he had only been with us for a short time and we didn't really know him, but just seeing him just say, hey guys, like, you saved me. I mean, like that fucking hits you, and that hits you hard. And to this day, if you were to ask Mike, like, what his biggest thing in warrior hockey was that. I mean, dude started crying right after that. He was like, holy fuck, like, this is the real deal. And I think if you really get people to understand, like, we always preach the 22 a day, but if you get people to understand, like, programs like this could stop that. And, like, that's the biggest thing. At the end of the day, that's what we're trying to stop, is 22 a day.
Yeah, it's like my kind of mantra for warrior hockey is never alone. Like,
Yep.
hockey in itself is a team aspect, and coming to the civilian world after the military, mostly it's big. I think it might be bigger on the active duty side because we're used to being with each other every day constantly, and then you transition to the civilian world, and you try your best to kind of repurpose yourself, but that camaraderie you miss, and groups like this, whether it's hockey or whatever other sport or activity or something like that, like these are kind of vital programs to ensure that 22 starts ticking down,
Yep.
because we're terrible when we're by ourselves and in our own heads, and we don't have an outlet, and we can't just you want to be like your spouse is kind of who you should be able to talk to, but even then, like, there's only so much you can say, and so much
It
they
ain't
can
happening,
relate.
brother.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Unless they've been in, I mean, you could try all day to explain it,
yeah,
but it's not happening, right?
Yeah.
You have to find like-minded people. And, I understand that there's a ton of, organizations out there for veterans. But this is the only one that I've actually found and been a part of that actually is ran by veterans, helping veterans. Like, I mean, yes, the VFW is there, but that's ran by mostly older veterans who are now retired, and they've did their share of stuff back in the day. What we've done compared to them is totally different. I mean, it's the same thing, but it's different.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, same with World War II and Vietnam. Still veterans, but they did two totally different things, conflicts, right? So neither one of them is going to understand each other. But with Warrior Hockey, most of the guys that play, if not all, are OIF, OEF guys, right? So we know where their mindset's already at. And that's how we can help each other, knocking that number down.
Yeah. It's your new unit, it's another network
Exactly.
for people, for friends, and like you said, like-minded. Like, I'm sure I could bring my experience to you guys, and you guys will be able to relate, and vice versa. So these programs are amazing, and personally, obviously, a little biased, but the hockey is probably like one of the better ones. So
and what's cool is it's not just the U.S. I mean, like Jurky saw, we brought in the Denmark guys.
Yep.
Yo, they're a trip.
Right?
I love
So
those guys.
that's a whole nother level of crazy already on their own. But I mean, to think about the fact that we've only focused Warrior Hockey in the United States. There's Warrior Hockey in Canada. There's Warrior Hockey Germany, Sweden, Denmark. I mean, imagine what Warrior Hockey could be if we didn't just focus on USA Warrior Hockey alone, right? So that was kind of one of the things why I brought the Danish in. And I mean, those guys were fantastic. I have never met a nicer group of people in my life. And then I got to talking with them. They're like, "Oh, do you want the contact information for Sweden and for Germany?" I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
you really want to take this like worldwide? Like,
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see us start going over there and playing
right?
in some of their barns. Like that'd be a trip.
That would be fantastic. Sign me. You know what? I will come out of retirement and play in Denmark one time.
Yeah.
I think I knew they were a vibe from when I was kind of giving the team, like, hey, here's a couple things to think about. We're all kind of half-dressed, getting in the zone, and I got two blonde-haired, bearded guys that are just drunk off their ass at, like, 3 in the afternoon, like, saying, "Let's swap gear." I'm like, yes, let's do it.
Dude, so what's crazy was, like, I'd been talking to them for about 2 years. I tried to get them out to the previous Gateway Classic, but money-wise, they couldn't finagle it. So then I was talking to them. I'm like, "Hey, so when you become friends with them on Facebook, they like every post that you put on there." And so, like, every time my son was playing lacrosse or it was his birthday, they were like, "Oh, happy birthday," or "Dude, you're fucking awesome." And I was like, "Hey, do you want to, like, swap some shit with my son?" So, like, they brought over a gift bag stuff, full of stuff, like hoodie, coins, pucks, I mean, you name it.
Whoa.
And then my son gave them his sweatshirt from the lacrosse team and stuff like that. And I mean, those guys they love to just swap.
Yeah.
And it was great. Like, I mean, I swapped my game jersey because I knew I was done. And I told Thomas, I was like, "Hey, you want to swap jerseys?" He's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "All right, pick your one." I got my home and away. And he looked at me because everybody else has been like practice jerseys. And I was like, "Nah, you get the real deal." And he was like, "Oh shit!" Like, okay. And so I gave up my away or my home jersey, and was like, "All right, we're doing this." And then, like, I've seen people swap gloves and all kinds. I'm surprised somebody didn't swap skates with those guys.
Man.
I mean, they are the greatest group of human beings ever, and they love America.
Oh, yeah. There's one guy running around with, like, a cowboy hat and some boots.
Yeah.
I was like, hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, and Anheuser-Busch. They think that's the greatest beer ever. Budweiser is the best. I'm like, brah, that is the grossest beer. What is your problem?
Oh man, no, that was a blast seeing those guys, and yeah, like you said, man, like we need to take this stuff worldwide because it would be so much fun because I know they would put together like a team USA, and we would actually go over there to Denmark and play their collective team, and I think Ron Anderson with VVHF was like, hey man, why don't we take it international? We just get a sponsor or two and go on a road trip and go on a Euro trip and play, Team Germany, Team Sweden, Team Italy, maybe get some guys from Aviano to come out and put together a team, like,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
And,
I was
well,
like,
and now that I have the contacts that I do, like, we're one step closer to making that happen. And
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I think it would be fantastic if we were like, hey, we're gonna put one Warrior or maybe even two Warrior hockey, USA Warrior hockey teams together, depending on the level, right? If you need like an alpha level, we can take groups of guys from all over Warrior hockey, right? Make one USA team at the upper level, one at the lower, one at the middle, and we go over and we do something like the NHL did, with the Four Nations face-off.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
That'd be
That'd be so
And, I
fun,
mean,
dude.
You could do it. It would be easy, and I guarantee you, the sponsorship would just flow at that point, right?
Yeah.
As soon as somebody caught wind of like, oh shit, like we're doing it, but at a different level, not the professional level, but a disabled veteran level,
Mm-hmm.
dude, that's money right there.
Internationally too,
Right.
the coverage for that would be tremendous compared to
yeah.
what we have now.
Yeah, I mean, the possibilities for that could be endless. I mean, you could even do more than 4. Obviously, I mean, every country's got a freaking military, and they all got disabled veterans probably playing hockey somewhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
Especially in Europe, hockey's life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for real. That's a cardio workout too with their ice.
Oh yeah. So I mean,
Olympic sheets.
I mean, it's something to think about. I mean, it's something I could even start working, at the small level. But I think that'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. Nate, do you have anything else? I mean, we kind of covered, everything on the sheet.
Yeah. So, you said you're kind of hanging your skates up and you're done directing the tournament. So one more time, like, what are your plans within the Blues organization, the Blues Warriors organization going forward?
Well, so I thought about it. I knew for a fact that this would be my last year running the tournament. I mean, I start, I started August prepping for the tournament. When I first started, I had a team of 5, and then now this year, I think I had a team of 12. And for me personally, like when I have something in my head that we're doing it this way and that's it, right? And you start adding people in there, then it's a lot of bickering and whatnot. So I knew, I was like, you know what? I think it's time for me to be done. It's time to pass the torch. Somebody else can come up with ideas and grow this. I think I've set a good foundation of what the Gateway is and where it could go. Now it's time for somebody else to take over. I didn't know I was going to hang my skates up until Sunday of the tournament when I threw my back out and couldn't feel my legs for about an hour and I was like, yeah, I already have back issues and hockey's probably not the greatest sport in the world for my back.
I can contest to that.
And I was like, eventually I'm going to have to do back surgery. And, once you go down that path, you're kind of done playing sports in general. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to leave the organization at all because then I know I'll be going in a downward spiral if I left altogether. I mean, we have an alumni roster, but to me, that wasn't enough for me personally. So I reached out, to Coach Harv and Greg, the president, and then Nico, who is our coaching director. And I was like, what about I help coach, at the assistant level for the lower team? I know all the guys. I've played with them for 4 years. I know how they think, how they act. All of you guys are civilians. So what do you think about adding me to the staff with a different perspective on, in hockey? I mean, I'm not knowledgeable at all compared to these guys that have played their whole life, but I bring in a different knowledge of how these guys work mentally.
Yeah.
And they were like, you know what? That sounds like a good idea. So I was like, all right, so I'll be, coaching or helping coach the lower level team. Because I've been an assistant captain with that team, on and off for the past 4 years. So, it made sense for me to, instead of just completely hang up, it was more, I'll move my talents and whatnot at a different level with these guys.
I think that's very important that you're staying with the organization and kind of taking that role, because you're right. Yeah, of course they have the whole hockey aspect of it, but also translating that through somebody that, let's be real, somebody to listen to that has been there for a minute. That's, like you said earlier, that has been through similar situations and things that they've done. Me personally, I look at that guy, and taking what the coach is, translating it, and like you said earlier, dumbing things down, that's huge. That's, to me, that's a glue guy. That's a glue role that every successful, I would dare say, team needs.
Right.
So I'm glad you're staying with them and taking that role.
Yeah, I just felt like that's where I belong. Like I coach football for little kids. I'm trying to pick up lacrosse for my son, which, if you haven't watched lacrosse, I'm just gonna put it out there. Probably be your new favorite sport to watch, especially indoor lacrosse. It's on a whole nother level of craziness. It's hockey without skates.
They have a pro league, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a team in Vegas.
There is, yeah, the Desert Dogs. It's owned by Wayne Gretzky, actually.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out, really?
Yeah.
Dude,
now we got to go
watch it. It
rock
is
to the
intense.
Desert Dog games. We're going now.
Oh, shit.
It's played in an indoor. It's played in a hockey rink, but turf, and they throw people into the boards, everything. It's
like
just not skating.
hockey and rugby mixed together. It's wild.
Yep, it's amazing.
Yeah, we gotta go. We gotta go now.
Yeah, I wish, I was looking at taking my son to one, but Chicago had one, but it folded. So
Ooh.
there's not a team close enough. Vegas is probably the closest one, because I think New York and all the northeastern states have the rest of the teams.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, come on out, man. We'll go to a game.
Hey, man. Yeah.
I may have to. but yeah, so it's I love, not just being a part of the team, but contributing. I'm more of I don't need, the gratitude and all that stuff. I just want to just be there to help these guys get better, because I would love to see, our Delta teams progress in skill, right? But the only way to do that is if you dumb these things down, and you got to have the right person to dumb it down from the professionals. And I talk to Coach Harv probably daily. I have a good rapport with all the coaches and the board members. So when I approached it that way and was like, this is what I'm thinking, everybody was like, yep, you're good. Let's do it.
Yeah, and it's nice for you too. You said you coached before for other sports and stuff too, but having this kind of new monster for you, yeah, you may not be skating, but you're still, involved in progressing and growing your knowledge and experience in hockey. So that'd be cool to see you out there, seeing what you can do for the boys. So
yeah, and I've been asked to be I can't think of the word, almost like a liaison for the tournament. So I'll still be around. I just won't be
as hands-on
in charge. I'll just kind of be in the background saying, hey, this is what I think you should do. This is how I've done it. Obviously, whatever works best for the next person, but my experience, this is what has worked the best so far. And like I said at the beginning, I would say that ours is probably one of the best ran tournaments, start to finish. But I'm biased, so.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong, and you guys are doing every year. I know the the Warrior, what do they call it, the Warrior Classic or whatever in October, and the championship. It's kind of, they bounce around, so every year is kind of hit or miss what you're getting, but you can see that the Blues Warriors, you guys are continuously growing and making the tournament really nice, and it's always fun to
you
come
will
out.
see changes in Warrior hockey. I can promise you, there will be changes in Warrior hockey from the get-go. After having discussions this past weekend with the president, I gave him my 2 cents on how I foresee Warrior hockey going, and he was on board with what I was telling him. And I think what I said was basically every veteran's opinion. So you will see. I think you will see better things come out of Warrior hockey in the years to come. It's just it'll be slow. Obviously, you got to crawl before you can run.
Any details you can share?
Or
you want to save it?
No. I mean, some of the stuff that we talked about was, making sure that divisions were fair. Obviously, when you go to a USA tournament, right, you have no idea who you can play. You could be playing a Bravo team at the Delta level, right? We've seen it. We've seen all kinds of stuff. And so one of the things that I had talked to him about was he needed to put together a committee that went through rosters like we do, right? Just at our level, but at the highest level, having a group of people from all over Warrior hockey, not just one organization, but all the organizations, or one from each state, and coming together and saying, all right, yeah, I know this person, I know who this person is. So when you look at rosters, you're like, oh, yeah, no, this is where they should be, right? We've played them in the past. This is so that's going to happen. You're going to see playing field go from this to this. It might not be this year, may not be next year, but eventually you're going to start seeing that playing field level out. There will be, from talking to him, there will be a definitive set of level of skill. So like if you're at tier 7, this is what tier 7 is. It needs to be black and white. There is no loopholes, no nothing. You're tier 7, you played hockey 1 to 2 years, right? I don't care what your age is. That tier 7's learn to play, level.
Yeah.
There should be nobody, that's ever played at a higher tier going down to that tier. And then so on and so on. So you're going to start to see all these things come together. And I think my hope is that within a couple years, Warrior hockey will probably be the best ran organized sport for veterans that there could be at all levels. Like, it'll be fair, it'll be fun, you're going to see competition, but it's going to be level competition, right? You're not going to see lopsided stuff.
Yeah.
I think you probably will stop seeing 7-1 games in the near future. It'll be 3-2, stuff like that, but it'll take every organization to get on board, right? That's the only way that Warrior hockey survives, is if we all come together and say, you know what, yeah, that's what needs to happen. It's not just what's best for my organization, it's what's best for all.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're here for, right?
Yeah.
We're here for all.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because, like Jurky, right? You started out in Dallas, you're now in Vegas. So you're now in 2 organizations. Imagine somebody else that's moved to a different one. And, somebody that comes from St. Louis who's used to playing at this level, because that's how we define it. And they're like, oh, we're going to go this one, but we don't care. Like, we're going to sandbag the crap out of it. And it's like, is that really what you should be doing?
Right.
We all have a code of honor that we're supposed to live by. It's time for Warrior hockey to kind of
get back to that.
Yeah, like I was saying before, there's some tournaments, that come here or that we go to that it's not fun to plan anymore because, they say they care and, they have some kind of structure for how to, classify players, but, it sometimes it doesn't pan out and you go talk to them and they're like, well, whatever. And so it just
like, how can we fix this? Yeah.
Beer League's the best example of just putting people in random spots. Have fun with it.
Yeah. Drew,
well,
go ahead.
I wasn't gonna bring it up, but kind of going back to this past tournament, there was a situation involving myself and a couple of other guys. I don't know if you wanted to touch base on that. We don't have to name drop people.
Yeah, no, you know what? I will. I'll set the record straight on this one. All right. So it was my mess up, right? But between all the emails and all the stuff that I get when it gets closer to time, I didn't see everything, right? So I placed Vegas in a tier that I shouldn't have, right? I probably should have put you up a tier or two, ahead. Obviously, with Battleborn, I love those guys to death, just like I love, the Vegas team, Vegas veterans. I love both of you guys to death. I knew that there was already the rivalry between the two. So yeah, I mean, plain and simple, I made a mistake on that one, but it wasn't the only one. We had a bunch of teams that did the same thing. Like I said, at the end of the day, we're human. But I think the biggest step that we made was that Friday night. We brought every organization in and we said, all right, you know what? Here's what's going on. This has got to stop. Obviously, we can't change it this weekend because ice is, once you make a schedule, right, you can't change the schedule, unless the stars align, which never happens.
Right.
Last year when Battleborn came for the very first time, I put them at a low Charlie, and they got stomped, right? But I couldn't move them down because all the teams that were in the tier they would go to were equal, right? So I can't move one down. Then that just puts a whole hole in the schedule, messes everything up, right? Logistically, it's impossible.
Yep.
And so this year, I knew going into it that this is where they would be. This is, and so on and so on. But we had teams that said that they were at a level, but they obviously weren't when you see them on the ice. And then I had some teams that called and said, hey, we see you put us at this one. It may not be a good idea. We may need to go up. Well, as much as I would love to, I can't because I already have 6 teams here. If I move you up, that puts 7, puts 5 here. It messes everything up, So, yeah, I mean, it's sports, right? Nobody's perfect. Scheduling is hard. Anybody that's ever ran a tournament would know it. You're never going to be perfect. But the fact that we addressed it as a whole, everybody agreed on a rule. But we should have never gotten to that far in the first place. But I think we put Warrior Hockey in the right direction by saying, hey, you guys come together. We're not making the rule because that makes us look like shit, right? Because we may make a rule that benefits us, and we're not about benefiting our own organization. We're here for all of you guys. So you come up with a rule as a collective, and that's going to be the rule for the tournament. Then I don't want to hear any complaining. I mean, obviously I heard complaining still, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
That's like
I think it was a step in the right direction.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, my last game of the tournament was probably the best way to go out. I have Vegas versus Vegas. And we ended on a fight. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, could it have been avoided? Yes. That goes back to me saying, hey, I messed up, right? Could it have been avoided on the ice? Yeah, could have been. People could have not taunted each other, but we knew going into it that was going to be the case, right? You guys have a rivalry. Yeah. 2 Vegas teams. Be no different than 2 St. Louis teams. We're going to chirp the shit out of each other.
Mm-hmm.
But, both teams have said, hey, we're sorry. We shouldn't have acted like that. Okay, no harm, no foul. It is what it is. At the end of the day, we'll move on, right? We'll just get ready for the next time.
Yep, and we'll get ready for the next time, and we'll do much better.
Yep. No, it was probably the most stressful tournament I've ever ran. Not because of Jurky at all, ever. Getting a phone call at 4 a.m. on Friday morning.
Yeah, my bad.
Thank you. And I'm just like, who is this guy they're talking about? And I had to go into my office and I'm like, does anybody know who this person is? And they're like, Steve. Finally, Steve Hayden was like, oh yeah, I know him. He played Lone Star. I'm like, yeah, apparently he's playing at Delta. Great. That's going to go over real great.
Yeah.
But, like I said, human. You got to put the human element into it, right? We're not perfect, and like I explained to a lot of teams, especially for you, Jurky. Like if you play when you play at that level, right? You dumb it down, right? You're not going full out. You're not going coast to coast and scoring. So when I pull up your stats, what do you think I find? I find nothing.
Yeah.
Because there is none. Because you're not going out there and you're not demolishing teams, right? If you were, I would have seen it and said, yeah, no.
Yeah, you're moving somewhere else, buddy.
You're moving somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know, so yes, I get it. The fact that there was a higher level player at the lower level, it is what it is. I didn't see you act like a dick out there. Not compared to some teams. I've seen some teams when they played at the lowest level and they're taking slap shots from the blue line, you know, when they're already up 10-0, right?
Right.
It's one of those things where, like, until Warrior Hockey comes together as a collective and says, hey, here's all the stats, here's all the levels everybody's played at, you're never going to know. I don't have access to that stuff. It's all, I have to look at your Facebook, and do you really think I want to look at your Facebook on a random day? No, I don't.
Probably
I don't
not.
give a
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
We're
We're just trying to play hockey, man, at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm not going to stalk you and figure out what you're doing in hockey.
Yeah.
And I know some people would like to see that, but I have a life, right? I don't get paid to do this.
Right.
I have a family, I have a job. I'm just here to put on the best possible event that I can for everybody to come here and have fun. And if I fail at that, that's on me. But if I don't, then great, it's a win. Everybody has fun.
Well, good news, you haven't failed at it yet. So, yeah, it's been a great tournament every time I've been there, whether it was been with Lone Star or being in the alumni game or being there, helping, Vegas kind of grow as a hockey state,
Yeah.
I haven't had any complaints about the Gateway Classic, and definitely look forward to coming to the next one.
Yeah, it'll be better than this year, right? Always better.
Yep. That's all you can ever ask, right?
Yeah.
Nate, you got anything, bro?
I don't. I think we'll end it. Drew, is there anything else you want to touch on at all? And, if not, you want to plug the Blues Warriors socials and all that?
Man, I don't want to plug anybody's socials in. Are you kidding me? No, I want to say thank you guys. I have enjoyed, working with you guys on and off the ice. You and every organization that's in Warrior Hockey. I am blessed to know all of you guys. And I hope that more veterans across the country find teams like ours and join them or start their own team, right? And be a part of Warrior Hockey as a whole, right? Bring back that camaraderie that we need, and have fun. And, in terms of our socials, I don't even know them. I don't know the St. Louis Blues Warriors socials. Go to stlouisblueswarriors.com, I guess is what it is. Shit, I don't know.
At the end of the day, we're all out there. There's teams out there.
Every organization's out there. You just got to Google it and just say, all right, which one am I looking for? Vegas Veterans, got it. Battleborn, got it. North Carolina Warriors, cool. Go to Facebook and look it up. It's all there.
Nope. All right, man. I think we'll go ahead and end on that. If Jurky, you're good.
I'm good, baby.
All right, Drew. We can't thank you enough for joining us today. It's we've both known you for a good while, and it's been an honor to have you here with us, and chat hockey and chat about the military and stuff like that. So, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for putting on an amazing tournament every year.
Appreciate it, Drew.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
All right.
All right. Have a great night.
You too, buddy. Thanks.
All right. Bye.
See ya.
All right, so Drew, thank you so much for being on the podcast with us. I know you couldn't be here today with us, but you called in, and we're all big fans of the St. Louis Blues Warriors organization. It's a mouthful, but and we're good friends of Mr. Drew Boyd. So let's get going with the Gateway Warrior Classic. I didn't get to go because doctor stuff and my back. Yeah,
it's hard being weak. I don't know.
But the boys all went. A couple of them brought home some hardware, but they all had an amazing tournament. I watched some streams of it. The tournament looked great. Got rave reviews. So, guys, let's dive in.
Leave it to you fellas. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I've been going to the tournament for at least the past 3, and every time it just gets better and better. I know one of the previous years they actually had like the team social. This year they didn't have it. But I think talking with Drew Boyd, he said, they had to be a little smarter with their money and kind of see where they're putting in stuff. Because I think they're trying to do a lot more, not just in the Blues Warriors organization, but like branching out. I mean, and maybe even tease, they mentioned something in the interview about going overseas.
Yeah, I remember that.
So, Team USA action.
That would be amazing.
We talked to the Danish while we were there.
Yep.
So
They were there and they were excited.
They were
very happy fellas.
So trying to tell the story of the Danish coming to our locker room as we're getting ready for a game against Dallas, I think. And then it's like, we're all kind of locked in for the game, prepare, check the guy to your left and right, make sure he's got everything, everyone's ready to go. And just these blonde-haired, yoked motherfuckers coming in like, hey, let's exchange some gear, man. And we just kind of dropped everything because they just looked like they were having a great fucking time.
Was that when I brought it? I ran into them in the hallway and they were like, are you on the Vegas team? I'm like, well, yeah, I'm on the other. There's 2 Vegas teams, I'm on the one, but I was going into your guys' locker room.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was. Hey guys, I'm coming to watch you play.
And the dude with the cowboy hat was
yeah,
there?
it is.
Oh,
And I'm like, come on in here. They're in here.
You sent them in.
That's better than the stripper story like 3 years ago. Did you hear about that? Did I tell you about that? I guess some guys met some fine young ladies at the casino 3 years ago.
It's a nice segue into the story, by the way.
Right. And they said, hey, we'll be playing tomorrow in the championship game. You should come by our locker room and say hi. So, long story short, they do show up to the rink, but they go into the wrong locker room.
Oh, my God.
And they go into the wrong locker room, and they apparently flash the whole team just out.
Oh, you did tell us the story.
Yeah.
I do remember this.
Yeah, it's just all out there. And I don't even remember. I think it might have been the Blues team. But it may or may not have been the Lone Star Warriors.
I'm sorry, and you're welcome.
Yeah. Good luck. That's
the question is, did they win that game?
I think they did, actually. Yeah.
You missed.
You lost your good luck
that you needed.
Yeah.
No, we didn't win that one. We did not win that year. So, oh well. But overall, I had a great time. Playing out in the barn is always a treat for me because I've never played outdoors until going here. And I thought the Vegas Veteran Hockey Foundation played very well. We actually used what we practiced in a game, shocker, like moving the puck, breaking it out, and stuff like that. So, I was really proud of how we played. And even, it shows that Vegas hockey is growing because at the end of the day, who's in the championship?
Both Vegas teams,
Vegas teams.
Both Vegas.
So, I love that. I love that for our state. I love that for our hockey. And,
And I saw a lot of pictures too, like of the 2 teams like intermingling like throughout the tournament.
Oh yeah,
you guys all hanging out and stuff like that.
We're all homies, obviously.
Yeah.
It's like, of course, you step on the ice, and when you're playing against each other on the ice, it's
competitive.
It's competitive. If you're not wearing the same sweater I'm not, you are an enemy at that point in time. But once the game is done, I think we all went to dinner that night.
We
together.
Yeah.
The majority of us, we had
Mama's on the Hill, where I was really loud.
we went there. That place was bombed, dude.
Oh my God.
And I think Jake found it, Millennial Pause.
Man, that bill was fucking atrocious. Do you remember hearing about that?
The bill?
The overall bill, because they didn't separate it. And it was the whole team that was there. Well, I guess I'd say the team and a half.
Bulk of both teams.
Yeah, I'd say it was about north of $700.
It was good.
Oh yeah.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably up there for one of the bigger tickets, especially with 2 teams. Like we've in past years, we've always gone like as a team everywhere, and so like the bills get up there, especially when guys are drunk.
That's how it should be. That's the experience of going out with the team. Going out with the boys. Like maybe I wish they would have separated it, but it seemed like one of those places where they're just like, all right, figure it out. Yeah.
That was
I don't like the math.
The tickets.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, that did stress me out. I'm really not doing money. Money stresses me the fuck out.
So that facility was 5 stars.
What's Centene?
Oh, yeah.
Centene is badass, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel like we keep running into this because we went to Seattle like what is that, a year and a half probably ago, something like
It was
that.
the
Just
Winter
over a
Classic.
year, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the Kraken Iceplex is
It was
phenomenal, dude. That's
Fucking
an amazing freaking rink. Multiple sheets of ice, dude, and like Centene's the same way. Like it's a gorgeous facility, you know.
Centene's got 5.
So massive.
And an
Five sheets
outdoor.
for the ODR.
Yeah.
They had 4 plus the barn.
Yeah.
And they have the one giant one where they got like I think
That's
there's
where
like a
Lindenwood
minor.
plays.
The
Yeah.
USA rink.
The college team.
Yeah, USA rink. Yeah.
That game was fun. I saw a kid that played in the North American Hockey League in Texas, but was playing for Alaska. So I was like, I recognize his last name. I think his name's William Lawson Body. Really, really good dude. I don't know. He was good. He was good when I saw him playing. I'm glad to see that.
They had a couple
progression.
good skaters on each side. And I was like, wow, them boys are floating out there. It looks
The Naldo,
fantastic.
Yeah. No, dude. I wonder who's getting scouted from those guys. What division was that? Was that D1?
No. It's the same division as UNLV.
So what's that?
ACHA.
ACHA what? D2, D1?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Oh,
not
look,
sure.
D1.
I'm really bad
well,
about
It
if
it.
really
that's
doesn't
me,
matter.
then-
It really doesn't matter these days. If you're playing college hockey, I mean, or pretty much any college sports at this point, you're a stud.
Well,
Yeah.
UNLV's about to go D1 here within a year or two, anyways.
Wow.
Ah, man,
They
they're
beat
beating
Denver,
Denver 17 to 1.
Yeah, dude.
Like what the hell?
They are.
Funny, we're playing those guys.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
We go up against them in men's league all the time, and I'm like,
Yo,
hey man, didn't I
Shout
just?
out UNLV playing in the C League. The
Hell yeah.
fuck,
I'm like, I
man.
just took my kids to watch you play. You little shit. What are you doing out
Literally facing off
I'm
against
4 beers in. Like, what are you doing?
facing off against the coach of UNLV and
Oh yeah.
his players and former players.
I just love that Las Vegas is turning into a hockey town.
Oh, it's
Like,
cemented.
I kind of figured because they won the cup,
Mhm.
and then it just continues to grow and grow, and it gets harder to get ice. But it's like really seeing the product and take fruition
Yeah.
is just it's awesome. I love it.
I think
Exciting.
This is a non-biased take for real.
It really is. All my takes are not.
No,
No, they're not.
When they're about the Capitals
Oh,
or the
dude.
Raiders.
Damn.
Yeah, but like this is
No, I have nothing to toot about the Raiders, man. They're terrible.
no, but like this is non-biased as fuck. I love it. You like us. Are
Hey,
you
man,
gonna live
I
here?
will
How much
double.
alcohol did you put in that thing?
It was a good amount, man. I had to lose.
I'm actually starting to feel it.
It's getting almost sweaty. Right?
Then you got the hazy.
Yeah.
Hey, so I'll jump on that, man, because I mean I grew up here, and when I was growing up, it was like non-existent. We had to drive everywhere.
Where'd you guys? What was the closest rink before?
I
everything
want to
moved?
say it's not there anymore. It was at Santa Fe Station, and
Oh, that's like
and then
smack dab in the.
that's right up here, up north up here.
Oh shit!
And then there's the Ice Center's always been there, but I want to say it was called like the Ice Palace at some point.
wasn't it? Everybody says it was a roller rink at first too, wasn't it?
Well, I think it turned into a roller rink, and then it was the Ice Center after that. So it was the Ice Palace, roller rink, and now it's LVIC, what it is now.
Yeah.
But there was only 2, and then it was the only one for a while. Santa Fe was the only one, and then they shut that down, and then it moved it over to what's Hilo Park today,
Yeah.
Which used to be the Pepsi or
which was Pepsi,
Pepsi,
before that was
Sobe.
Sobe, and it was part of Texas Station.
Yeah, that's gone.
And that was
It's
like it,
leveled.
dude. Yeah, and that was like
Are they
it.
building something around that?
they're building.
Yeah, they're building a whole
Shit.
sports
Like a-
complex.
like an outdoor mall thing.
It's going to be huge. There's going to be like 2 other sheets of ice. There's going to be soccer fields.
There's
There's
I
gonna
think they're
be
putting a
batting
hotel there too.
cages, a hotel, the mall. There's going to be all sorts of crap over there. The
Yeah.
land is huge.
Oh yeah,
I'll
it's
send you the Instagram that you should follow that gives you Vegas local updates if you'd like to live here.
Yeah, I'd like to live there. At least for 3 more years.
No, keep it longer.
I don't know. I'm talking about
Anyways, so yeah, just what you're saying about Vegas hockey here is
Sloughout's growing.
for me it's a blame. One of my boys is, like I said, I took him to the ring today.
Dude, that's so cool,
You know,
man. I'm
he was
so
playing
jealous,
hooky.
man.
Sorry, but I don't care. And it was awesome. But like, he's gonna grow up and your boys too. You're gonna grow up, and your kids, and like they're gonna grow up in this, and
It's just normal.
It's a goddamn blessing, though.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And not even just like playing, like my kids don't play, but just like being around the rink. Like I wish I kind of grew up before I started playing hockey, being around the rink, being around that atmosphere. So I think it's just pretty cool to kind of see. That's why I'm always like, oh man, I'm so jealous because like seeing that as like you being a father and like taking your son out on the ice and helping him learn the sport, grow the sport, and it's just so cool to watch.
Oh, thanks, man. You don't be jealous? Come on out there. I'll tell you when we're going again.
Hey, man.
And it said today for the longest time I was like, hey man, do you want to play center like Daddy? You want to? He's like, yeah, I'll take faceoffs. All right, cool. And then today he's like, Daddy, I want to play defense. I'm like, okay.
Defense is a good spot.
Oh, absolutely,
Like,
absolutely.
honestly,
I'm like, hey man, I can only teach you so much because my whole life has been forward. That's where you come in.
I have to come out there, dude. Teach him some things. And make him skate laterally. There you go.
As long as they don't say they want to be a goalie, I think that's the only thing that matters.
Like, no,
biggest mistake I've ever made.
That's when you're done.
Playing
We got to
goalie.
get you back on the pad. I want to see you.
Dude, I haven't played in like
Dude, I want to
12
see,
or 14 years.
I want to
at this
see
point.
like borrow strikers pads and like just
Striker's giant. I need
just one practice. I want you to go out there and I want to see what you got.
if I could find pads that fit, I'd be down to do it. But
Bro,
the problem is it's been so long.
Bro,
like,
what if you say it's so long, but what if you like are so fucking nasty? And it's like, dude, 100% you would be our 1A goalie going forward. Especially with the new VSC
Like
thing.
no bullshit.
I mean, like, yeah, of course you have that fear, like, oh, I might not have it again, but like, what if? You know, you
What
ever
if I
think
fall?
about that?
But what if I fly?
Right.
my sophomore year, I got scouted by Lake Superior.
Dude.
Yeah, you suck.
The resume's there. I mean, to me, it's like riding a bike. You know, you haven't done it in a while, but you step out there and like, you make that first save, you make that first, pad save. And it's
Truth
like,
be
oh,
told, at 27 years old, maybe 28, I put on the pads in a roller hockey game, and roller is obviously different than ice. And I think I let in 8 goals. Like, it was rough. I wasn't covering my net the way I should. Like, I thought I was covering angles, but I didn't have like my post right behind me. It's just, granted, there was no crease, which also helped because I'm used to looking down at my toes to see where I'm at in the crease. That way I can cut angles. And there was no crease, so that did not help at all. But at the same time, I was like, fuck, I don't think I ever want to play goalie again. Like, that was embarrassing.
Dude, you need to get mic'd up if you get to back in that.
Oh yeah, I'll mic you up.
I mean, I'd be interested.
Just try it.
Try it once. At like a practice.
At a practice.
Yeah, I'll talk to, you know who I could borrow pads from? God rest his soul on the shoulder.
Swanky Swank?
Swanky. Poor
Dude.
Swanky. Yo, that motherfucker broke his
Oh my God.
broke his shit making a save.
The save he made, apparently it was a breakaway. And
It was a breakaway with the best player on Florida.
It was a breakaway, and he just straight Lundqvist save, flashy save so hard that he grabbed it, landed on his shoulder, and broke his shoulder.
The player thought he scored. He was selling
His
it.
arms up and everything. He just
And then
robbed
Swing
the
just goes
shit
like
out of
this and drops the
And then-
puck.
he finished the game with a broken shoulder.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Didn't
what
even
the
know it was
fuck?
broken, but finished the
I
game
didn't know
with
he
a broken
broke his shoulder.
Yeah, that's why he was in a sling by the end of the tournament. I don't know if you saw that.
And he's like,
I just thought it was
hurts a
sore.
little
I didn't
bit.
hear anything.
Right.
about that.
All of us thought the same, and same with him. He thought like
wasn't
he just
bitching.
bruised something.
Right.
Never complained.
Yeah.
Dude's a fucking stud.
Quiet as a mouse. And then like he texts us like one day after we all get back and stuff. He's like, oh yeah, I just got back.
No, I messaged. I was like, Swank. I was like, how's your shoulder? He's like, oh, it's broken.
Yeah. I was like,
Like, he didn't even tell
you
us.
gotta tell us that.
This was like 4 days after the tournament. I was just like, I was thinking about, I was like, because we were talking
You
about,
didn't want to tell anybody?
we were talking about striker or something, I think, in the group. I was like, I wonder how Swank's shoulder is, because he was supposed to go get x-rays. And we
Yeah.
thought that he tore something or maybe would need an MRI.
Like pulled
We didn't think it was
something.
broken. He's like, oh yeah, I broke it. We're like, what? He's like, during that save.
I thought he was just beat up from
Right.
the tournament.
Same.
Right.
A lot of us thought that.
No, he just fucking threw his shoulder out.
Because we were all beat to shit, dude.
Hell yeah.
We went to play you guys in the championship, and I was like, I'm like, dude, I have no speed today. At the end of that day, dude, I was like, I am so broke right now. And that's why I looked at you on the face off and I'm like, hey,
Should we just
wanna
drop gloves?
Should we just Kachuk this right now? Just
I was like, how funny would that be?
Just do it and then rock, paper, scissors. That's the best way.
Oh, I didn't know
dude, that would have
That's
been
what you
sick.
do.
That'd have been a great clip.
That would have been good stuff. Damn.
That'd have been funny. See? In hindsight.
What about
Hindsight
you? What
is
do you think of
20.
your weekend in St. Louis?
In general, it was
In
fucking
general,
great.
yeah. What was your favorite part?
Oh, fucking hanging out with the boys, man. That was the best part.
The outdoor bar
Skating,
is so
skating
sick.
outside. You guys had 2 games out there.
We
Right?
had 2.
Yeah.
Honestly, the best game was against you guys, temperature wise. It
The
was
second one
It was
raining.
warm and raining during our second game. I felt like the temperature was perfect for the outdoor game that we
With
had.
us.
Because like by the middle of the first period, I was warm enough that it didn't feel like colder than
Talking about against Battlemore?
yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought the conditions were
the
great.
conditions were
No
great.
sun was shining in.
Yeah.
It was just.
We
it
had
was
sun
chill.
too. We had glare.
The
second
Dallas
game.
game, like my shit fogged up so much, I literally had to shift my visor up so I could see.
That's annoying.
Yeah, and I was like,
It's getting rained on in like the second or third.
it was misting. It was
What
it
the
was
fuck?
misting. It was misting, and then the wind was pushing the mist in.
In.
And I was like, dude.
Yeah, we went out to watch that game. I remember.
Yeah,
it was right after ours, and
Yeah.
yeah, I remember that.
Is that after your Hattie game that you had?
Yeah.
Against St.
You
Louis?
had the Hattie in the indoor.
in the indoor?
What
But
rank
that was right after that game.
I think that was
Yeah.
Plaguer, I want to say.
Plague.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was after that. That game we were up like 4-1 or something, and
Yeah, I was watching. You guys
and then
were.
they're like, "Hey, let's." I'm not trying to knock nobody, but they're like, "Hey, let's get the team some zone time and just work on whatever we work on." And next
Sure.
thing,
St.
you know,
Louis
it's
came
tied. I'm
back,
like,
yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I
That's
was.
the thing. Like, there's no sense in trying to, pump a team 8-1,
No,
9-1.
no,
It's
don't
like
do that.
at some point you kind of
You have won the game.
All right, we're kind of in control of this game. Let's use this time, like you said, to start working on stuff that
Yeah.
we need to work on. Let's work on passing. Let's work on breakouts and stuff like that. And it's just, I think that's another highlight from the tournament for me personally was just the sportsmanship all around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good, man. For the most part.
For the most part.
For the most part, minus one incident.
Yeah. But no, it was good, man. I got a little fiery because I got a little pissed off that it was all of a sudden tied. Like I blinked and it was tied. I was like, what is happening here?
I couldn't believe it, dude. I was watching, like, losing my mind. I was trying to do something else while I was watching that game, and I was texting them because they were watching. Yeah, I was texting them because I heard you guys because I was watching on Live Bar, and I heard you guys yelling when they would score goals, and so we were texting back and forth. And I saw the game score.
On, dude. Some of you guys thought we were heckling you. I was like, no, dude, we're there.
Some guys,
We're there. Yeah.
Someone.
So, yeah.
And then I got so nervous when the game got tied. I was like, oh, dude, holy shit. I was like, it'll probably go to overtime. Okay, we can, they can come back from
Dude,
this.
I did not want to go to overtime.
And then you scored with like less than 30 seconds left
It was
to
like 11
complete the
seconds.
hat trick, dude.
I bet your blood was flowing, dude.
Dude, I was like,
You were pumped for sure.
I was waiting on that one timer, dude. And I kept looking back at one of the boys who should have been on the ice. And I kept looking back going, why are you not out here? And he was just looking at me like,
Just
what are you? All right. Fuck.
Yeah, I think.
And then got it in the center, and I was able to one time it from there. But
No way.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. I missed it.
you guys were on the other end.
We
I
had to
think.
get ready. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah,
guys
yeah.
just got off, I think.
Yeah.
I was
We had
yelling.
watched the beginning of the game, and then we
Yeah.
had to get dressed.
Yeah.
for our
Dude, I'm
game.
glad. Dude, I had this little backhander on him when I cut in front of the crease, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe that went in.
Oh yeah, dude.
Because
Just
I
throw it to the net.
got
man.
to
That's what happened.
barrel it over his pad. I was like, oh, jeez, that was. I was like, I had to get him on. He stuffed me on one of my breakaways, and I was like, you son of a bitch, dude. I'll get you. I was like, I'll get you.
That's the thing. Like I just love how like at the end of the day, everyone just they're just happy to be there too.
Absolutely.
Like when we played Florida, they had the dog.
Oh,
They
my
had
Oh,
God.
yeah,
support
the
animal.
dog.
Was it it was
It's a
support
service
dog.
animal.
Service animal.
So that dog was actually at the Armed Forces tournament too, because Amanda met it before.
Really?
The one here?
And either this year,
Yeah,
this
here?
last one in 2024.
The one where you played for Arizona?
Correct.
Okay.
Because we didn't have a Vegas team.
Oh, and you get on me for wearing a Seattle hat. Jeez.
At least I lived.
This
Well, I guess I lived
fucking
in
guy.
Seattle too.
I was stationed in Seattle.
I was
Now
stationed
you gotta
there
get a
too.
Yotes hat. You gotta get a Roadrunner's hat.
Fuck the
You
Yotes.
gotta get a Roadrunner's hat.
I would wear the Kraken before that shit.
Yeah, you would.
Dude, I'm
Anyway,
really
keep
feeling that rum.
Yeah, you warm now?
Dude, I think the rum's feeling you.
Maybe.
Do you have any other thoughts on the tournament? Before I think we probably should move on.
I think we could move on, but I would just like to close by, at least on my part, is saying that it was a well-organized tournament. It was a beautiful facility. And honestly, like getting to meet and hang out with a lot of the teams that were there, including both our Vegas teams, definitely was a big highlight of Warrior hockey. And the only other thing I wanted to add that I said I would mention on the pod is there was a point where I wasn't going to go to this tournament. Mm-hmm. And because the three of you talked so immensely just excellence of this tournament and just said that this is one of the best tournaments out there.
Was this your first time going to the Gateway?
Yeah, I've never been there.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah,
dude.
I've never been there. And honestly, I left the podcast that night after you guys talked about it because I didn't tell you guys I wasn't going. And I talked to Amanda and I was like, yo, I really think I want to go to this tournament. It sounds really cool.
It's one of my favorites, dude.
Yeah.
And it
St.
lived up
Louis
to the
is a
hype.
special place. For
It
me now,
lived up
you
to
know?
the hype. Because
Definitely,
honestly, I was like, St. Louis, who gives a fuck about going to St. Louis? Like,
It's cold.
it's cold. It's not the right time of year, this and that.
You might get shot.
It's
Might get
awesome.
stabbed.
Yeah.
No, it's just, it was an incredible facility, great tournament, and just a cool experience.
Yeah.
And I definitely don't regret going, and I really appreciate Drew and Nathan for taking me back on the team because I was an original ad,
Just give him the
took
nudge.
myself off the roster, and then got added back. So like, thank you very much, VBHF, for letting me go.
Stick
And it
back to the
turned
boys,
out pretty
man.
good for you guys, huh?
Yeah, seems
It
like
did. It did.
Before we do move on to the next subject, I did want to give a shout out to Scott Allen from the Dallas Warriors or the Dallas Stars Warriors. I think it was Saturday night. I found out he had collapsed from dehydration at one of the rinks. He had to get rushed to the hospital. A bunch of the guys were pretty shaken up, but found out later that night he fully recovered, came to consciousness. He was good to go. He told me he's probably done playing hockey right now, but he might still coach with the Dallas Stars Warriors. So just want to give Scotty a shout out. Thinking about him.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
Hope he's feeling better.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Yeah. Last thing we didn't talk to you guys about, but Jurky and I knew this was Drew Boy's last year as the tournament director.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, he's
He mentioned that.
yeah he's
Oh, I didn't hear him say that.
done skating. He's not the director, although he will be like in a liaison kind of position now,
All right.
and he's going to be coaching one of the lower St. Louis Blues Warriors teams. So
They said their Delta squad.
Yep.
He's going to be the assistant coach.
yeah, so we'll still see him around, maybe even more now that he's got time freed up to to coach and just kind of hang out. So, but yeah, so that was we discussed that when we interviewed him, and he's excited about moving forward with it. And
Good dude. He seems like a really good dude.
oh yeah,
I
he's
enjoyed that time.
he's great. Drew's great.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right. Glad you guys had a great weekend. Let's jump into the Four Nations.
What's that?
Yeah,
USA, US.
Kids are sleeping. No.
So it started off really well for Team USA. They were just kind of plowing through and playing really well. A couple of guys got hurt. McAvoy got kind of. I think he got shoved in the finish game into the goal.
Yeah,
And that's what knocked him out.
At the end of the game.
Joel Armia.
Is that was it?
The net.
From Montreal.
Really?
Joel
Yeah.
Armia. Big boy. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
So,
So
I
Matt.
do want to say what a hit he put on McJesus though.
Oh yeah, that was
Oh.
monstrous. That
that's
first.
USA hockey.
That
baby.
was
Yeah,
smash mouth.
that first
Oh,
USA
man.
Canada hockey game was wild. That was kind of everything
We
I
were
think
all
USA fans were
afar
hoping
watching
for.
that shit.
Yeah, that was over the weekend.
Yeah.
That was
I thought
that
it was-
Saturday
We were
night.
at 99 hops where that robot was serving our table.
Yeah.
The table down from us.
Is that when we watched that game?
No, I
watched
thought
it.
we watched at
It was the first and
the
second.
St. Louis.
Yes.
Yeah, that
St.
was the
Louis,
weekend, yeah.
That's 99
hops.
hops bar.
With the pretzels?
The bar in the in the hotel.
Pretzels.
No,
He loves
no,
the
but like
pretzels
the
at 99
first
hops.
wasn't the first and second
The,
period.
the,
over
the
at-
Canada game was
At
during the
St.
alumni
Louis.
game.
Mm.
So I'm sitting there on my phone watching it. Drew gave me some link. And so we're sitting there watching it on our phones
All
while we're
fights.
watching the alumni game, watching the game.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we're doing this, and we all see it happen. We're like,
Oh
shit.
You should have. You kind of should have known when the Kachucks were starting.
Yep.
Both of them out there.
Oh my god.
And yeah, no, that was crazy. That was crazy. Who
As-
was the first one? The first one was Matt.
Was Matt.
Matt first.
Next one was Brady, and then the
And then
last
JT
one
Miller.
JT Miller, yeah.
Parayko doing one of these.
kind of hitting
Like,
himself.
I'll get you.
Did you see him?
Yeah.
He like completely missed and hit himself on the forehead. But,
I don't want to knock the guy for that, dude.
but you go toe to toe with a guy like Colton Parayko,
Parayko.
who's fucking massive. Like, hey, dude, props to him, man.
And JT Miller's a tough son of a bitch, dude.
No shit.
And he's a skilled son of a bitch.
For me, that was one of the defining moments currently for USA Hockey right there.
Yeah.
They put their faces on the map for USA Hockey.
yeah,
when
well,
I think USA Hockey now, I think of the Kachuk brothers.
yeah, that's what I
Oh
said.
my
That's
God,
what I said.
yeah.
In,
No,
that's what I said in
100%.
St. Louis, man. I'm like, hey, the Kachuk brothers are my favorite Americans.
It used
right
to be
now.
Oh,
like
100%.
it used to be
Yeah.
like Bill Guerin, Mike Modano,
My
and stuff
Patrick
like that.
McCain or Patrick
Patrick McCain.
Patrick
Patrick
McCain.
McCain.
Yeah, Patrick
That's John
Kane.
McCain's nephew.
Patrick
Hey,
Kane.
get that
Patrick
drink away
Kane.
from him.
No, but yeah, you think
Patrick
Patrick
Kane,
Kane,
yeah.
but like now, it's the Kachuk brothers, and I don't know. That made me like I think I posted something on Facebook about it, but I was like watching that game and the final, it made me feel proud to be an American. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, like
Even more so.
even
Yeah,
more so.
absolutely.
Like, you know, they kind of made the game more than just a hockey game, and I feel like that goes without saying. To some people, it did become more than a hockey game, you know, and it kind
Dude,
of
it was some of the most viewed hockey.
it was.
Yeah.
I think it was
Ever.
actually the most
Ever.
viewed hockey in the past
Ever.
like,
The
decade.
first game had over 5 million viewers, I think, in the U.S.
It had
alone.
9.5.
And it had
And it
9.5
was-
million.
It was the largest non-Stanley Cup like viewership
Mhm.
in NHL history.
Insane.
You had like cross athletes, like football players, UFC
Mhm.
fighters, like
Mhm.
NBA
NBA
stars.
stars.
Chiming in.
why haven't I been watching this?
Right, and
Yeah.
actually, I believe that PK Subban started something.
Yeah.
He's like,
He was
why-
like-
He went on a
Why
rant.
is the NBA doing this?
Why-
Why is the NFL doing this?
Why
Yeah.
is
This
it
is
not
what you need to
doing
do.
this?
NFL's
Right, yeah.
playing fucking flag football.
Like,
Yeah.
get out of here.
Yeah.
I miss the
Fuck.
days when in the Pro Bowl, and I want to talk about football for a second, but like Steve Atwater going to the Pro Bowl and he's laying the hat on dudes.
Well, it used to mean something to
It
go
did.
to the Pro Bowl.
But then you bring it to an international level like that, and you play with fucking pride.
You
It's like
put
college
the
players.
flag on your chest,
Damn
and it
With
means
the Jack
something
Eichel.
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you put that on your, like we've all deployed, we've all done our jobs there, like, so you get it. Yeah, it's like you put it here, and you're like, this is what I'm playing for, what I'm fighting for in a lot of guys' minds.
Right, take
Um,
pride in your fucking country.
But
and
you
go
put
put your
like,
balls
oh,
up.
Pacific Division All-Star, you're like, sick. I'm gonna see if I can mishy this.
What's the coach's name again for Tampa? It was Canada's
John Cooper.
coach.
John Cooper.
John Cooper. So I listened to part of Spitting Chicklets today. I think it was the episode that came out yesterday or today.
I think it was yesterday, yeah.
It was with John Cooper and Matthew Tkachuk. And one of the things...
It's Brady.
It was Brady.
Yeah,
It was Brady.
I'm all right.
Correct. Sorry. One of the things John Cooper opened up with, I think it was Whitney asked him, he's like, how fast was that for you? And he said it was the fastest hockey he's ever seen in his entire life.
I believe it.
And
Absolutely.
he said the limitation of space and the opportunities to score were just non-existent until they became existent. Like that game-winning goal was not a play. Like it was just McCarr dumping the puck in and Marner grabbing it and throwing it to an open McDavid.
Sure.
But one of the things that he was stressing is most of these guys that were in the tournament, this was the first time in their lives that they've ever donned their country's jersey in a capacity that went beyond juniors.
Mm-hmm.
All these guys that are like the 2016 class and forward have never donned a jersey for their country as an NHL player versus doing it as a junior. So like now you're competing at the level with your elite peers, and
That's
you
the
literally have the, like, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. You literally have the best of the
You're
best.
such a groupie.
Well, that's like
Dude, it was so cool.
I know,
Like
dude. I
you
know.
cannot tell me that tournament wasn't
Seth
amazing.
Jarvis I think he got cut from Team Canada in his junior days.
Mhm.
And then to have him get called up to represent his country to the best of the best, like that's
He's
that's
obviously-
storybook stuff, man.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like you said, you put that jersey on, dude, you're ready to go to fucking war.
Yeah.
You know, and man, that's now I'm getting goosebumps talking about
I
it.
mean,
too,
it was so big for us. I was like, hey boys, come on over, bring the families, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, that was so
Yeah, I mean, we had
I was
the,
like, this
the
is
party
kind
at
of
your house.
This is kind of like our Super
That was
Bowl.
emotional, and
Yeah.
we were all
we all came together.
It was.
and it was like,
I've
hey,
never really have been to a hockey game where you don't like, especially like a big group where you don't have opposing teams or fans. Typically, like let's just say that they were playing the Capitals, for example.
Yeah,
We love Bryce, but Bryce is going to go for the Capitals.
Bryce-
We're going to go for Vegas.
and we're gonna talk shit to each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was one of those things that, like, the energy in the room when Team USA scored.
That was wild.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, electric!
Yeah, we went nuts.
And then the
the kids upstairs
Yeah.
like, what happened?
Yeah. Who scored?
but then the feeling when they lost, like
Oh.
everyone was
That was gutted.
hurt.
It
was gutting.
deflated
Yeah.
It was
in there.
gutting. That's the word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, all right,
We
guys,
were because I had the stream up, and like I just wanted to be like, fuck this game and like trash it, and you guys suck and dude,
man.
I was
Hey, you had a weapon in your hand.
I was
dude.
so mad, dude.
I mean, you got to give it up. That was some of the best hockey
Oh,
me personally have
100%.
witnessed in a very, very long time. And both teams were neck and neck.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can say at the end of the day, Canada won. Yeah, congratulations to them.
But technically, it's 1-1.
Technically, it is one
Technically,
on
it
one.
is.
Yeah.
Technically, it's 1-1.
I was
Yes,
just saying
respect
that at
Canada.
work.
They
I was like,
they
it's
won the
1-1.
championship. Respect.
Yeah.
But the reality is, the NHL or most series are played as series versus, like, it's just one and one
Tournament
game.
format,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like as a whole for the United States, we are looking forward to that rematch. And it's
oh
coming
yeah.
faster than we think.
Yeah, next year Olympics.
26 Olympics.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
Where they're
insane.
allowing
I
the
Where's it
NHL
at?
players.
Yep.
It's in Italy?
think it's in Italy. Yeah.
Is it
But I was
in
like, if it was
Yep.
in the States, I'd be like, you guys want to go?
oh my God.
why don't we just go to Italy?
Start saving right
I
now.
don't know.
I
I got a job and a family.
Yeah.
I don't think you could buy tickets to that game, dude. Those tickets are going to be insane with how
The
big
game
this
tickets in
was.
Boston were insane.
I say we
Yeah.
just go. We don't have to go to we could just go to a bar near there and just go nuts.
Remember number 2 in the Dallas Stars Warriors, Fryer?
Mhm.
He went to the final game.
Holy
Yeah. He said it was fucking electric,
Good for
obviously, but yeah, he posted on his Instagram story. I was like, oh. I almost asked him how much those tickets were. I was like, don't tell me. Don't tell me.
I don't want to know.
Yeah, I don't
It's a
know.
house payment plus 2 car payments. So it's
Crazy.
It's a voluntary vasectomy.
and the Kachuk brothers, like, getting to play
That was the
for
first-
time ever
Yeah,
as
dude.
teammates.
yeah, man.
Like,
So it's fun. Like I posted. I don't know if it was today or yesterday when Matthew Kachuk was on Jimmy Fallon.
you
Mhm.
posted it
Yeah.
today.
Was it today?
Yeah.
Yep.
Or it might be expiring.
When's the last? Yeah. When's the last time an NHLer was on Jimmy Fallon?
Right?
No shit.
Ever?
And then here you are, got Matthew Kachuk, one of my favorite Americans right now,
Yeah.
and he's asking, hey, Jimmy Fallon's asking him, hey, when you play with your brother before? And he's like, no, we our whole lives we've grown up competing.
Yeah.
And then they were like, hey, we played together on the All-Star team, but that was fake.
Yeah.
Yeah, he literally said it was fake. Said it was fake.
He's like, and we just loved it to go out there and put on the jersey with our flag, and it's exactly what we're talking about.
And they got paired with Ikes, and they just had the first game at least they got to play together. And that first game against Canada was where Matt got hurt though.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So it was unfortunately short lived.
Yeah,
I
he
think
played like 6 minutes.
I think it
And
was
all
like
these
7
rumors about,
minutes
hey,
and
Brady's
12
going to
seconds.
Florida.
that'd be insane. I don't think he stays in Ottawa, but
No, he needs to leave there. He's literally what Matthew was, where he's on
In
a
Calgary?
team that fucking sucks.
When he was in
And
Calgary.
exactly.
Yeah.
He can't do
I
shit
don't know.
there.
I feel like after that showcase at the international level, they're gonna fucking throw the kitchen sink in to keep.
dude,
Yo,
Brady.
come to Vegas.
Brady would have to literally say no.
Dude, Brady was the hands down the best Team USA player.
Oh,
If USA won, he's MVP. 100%.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like no, if
He was
Absolutely.
insane every
I
single
will say
shift.
notable mention for Team USA was what's his name?
Jack Eichel.
Well, I would say Eichel. I would.
I would.
Jacob-
no, not biased.
Jacob
not biased.
Slavin.
Oh, dude,
dude,
Slavin,
Oh
man.
my God! Yes.
Yeah.
Some of those saves in the final, dude,
Oh
like
my
it was
God.
insane.
That
He
is
was
a-
on point.
I don't know
bro.
who said it, but that is a glue guy right there. That's a guy that you need blocking shots. That's the guy that you're like,
Dude, they were making memes of injuring him so they could put in
Quinn Hughes.
Quinn, yeah.
Hughes.
no, Sanderson, the guy who
Oh,
scored
it
the
was
second
Sanderson.
goal.
Yep.
It was Sanderson.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were
Him
making
too.
memes of him to
Get rid of him, and he helped send it to overtime.
Exactly. Yeah. No.
That whole team was so good. Like
Oh my god. And
electric.
I'll be the first one to say I was one of the ones that was bashing fucking Jordan Binnington because
Mhm.
when I've seen him aside from the cup run, he's been terrible in
He's
St.
been
Louis.
pretty average.
Yeah, pretty average maybe. And then you put him at the international level, he was a fucking brick wall that last.
He's got
like
Well, he
he's
had
got
a
to switch,
shit
man.
game right
I feel like he's
before
got to
that.
switch.
like when the stakes are high, dude. Like he's just locked in. No
He's,
emotion,
he's that meme.
flying all over the fucking.
He's the meme of the guy in the locker room with the headphones. You know, girlfriend broke up before the game, and he's just taping his stick. He's in it. Like it's all or nothing, dude. He's not coming out with an L.
That's funny.
Yep.
Crying.
Dude,
Benner was
but
insane.
Like, what's up with Vinny? Don't talk to him.
Yeah.
truth moment. If Brady Kachuk elevates that puck 1 more inch,
Yeah.
game-winning goal, and Binnington made an incredible save, but I felt like the puck was at the right height for where the glove should have been, if that makes sense. Because the angle was a very hard shot. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? In
Yep.
overtime,
Yes.
when he had the net.
One of 3 opportunities. Yeah.
Correct. But I felt like the biggest, because let's be honest, like a redirect puck, like Matthews thing, that was a one-timer. It wasn't a one-timer, but it was a tap-in.
Mhm.
And like you can't always control that. Brady had control of the puck for a sec and shot
Hockey's a
it.
game
An
of inches,
inch.
bro.
100%.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's
And
the hockey gods are like, nah, not
why-
today, dude.
Yeah.
That's why we play the game.
No,
It's
it
crazy, man.
literally is.
All I could think about was 2010 Olympics with Sid hitting that overtime shot.
Oh, yeah, that was
Dude.
making me nervous because Sid was flying out there. I'm like,
Going into
don't
overtime,
take the puck, man.
they compared that because it was same score 2-2 and went into overtime and Sid got the puck on his stick and won it all. And they were comparing it, and I'm like, "What are you guys doing? Like, announcer curse, dude! What the
Sid
fuck?"
the Kid made me nervous that whole overtime. Dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
same.
God.
But I mean, that is a ridiculous line of Sid with McKinnon and McDavid.
David.
Are you fucking kidding
retarded.
me, dude? Like
Yeah.
cheat code. That's like playing Team Canada against like Team Japan and Chell. You know, it's just like,
Yeah.
here, watch me run the score up. That is just an unreal line. What they had in the back end was Cale Makar and Devon Taves, who already play with each other on
Right.
Colorado.
Oh,
so they have the
100%,
chemistry.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would arguably say that they're the best D pair in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't disagree.
Right. They're nasty together. I mean, they complement each other so well because Devontae's can play that two-way conservative game, and Cale McCarr is just Cale McCarr. You know, so yeah, dude.
We were watching years ago. We were watching Colorado. Katie and I were here watching Colorado in the playoffs, and it was like Cale McCarr's first. It was his rookie year. He's in the playoffs.
Oh, and he did the black ace thing, and he got called up.
Yeah, and he scored.
Oh.
And they were like, "Oh, it's his first goal." I was like, "Honey, it's his first goal." He's like, "This guy's a stud." And she's like, "Oh my god, good for him." And I'm like, "He's like really, really good." So,
and then you watch his footwork, and you're like,
and like I'm like, yeah, good for him, this motherfucker. And then he's blowing up to this. I'm like, hey, honey, remember that kid that we saw? And you were like, good for him. Well, this is him now.
Now he played in college before that. Do you guys have an idea?
I think he played BU.
Was it juniors?
Yeah,
I think he played BU.
Boston.
Yeah, Boston.
Oh,
Yeah.
Was it BU or BC?
Dude, I was
One of
confident
those
about BU
Bs.
too. You said BC. He was in Boston. He played college in Boston.
I'm excited about the Caps talent pool coming up. Ryan Leonard.
Not biased.
Cole
So,
Hudson.
anyways,
Oh, dude, I'm so pumped. Future's looking so bright. Just don't fuck it up like the Martin Urick trade.
Yeah.
Philip Forsberg. That still haunts me.
yeah, you're almost over it.
No. Worst trade.
I still have nightmares. I wake up at 3:00 in the morning. Got to go to the kitchen and get an ice water.
It's more like a Coke Zero.
You know who I personally dislike, but I thought did something pretty incredible for Canada?
Hot
Sam
take.
Bennett.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude.
So hear this out. In that interview with
John Cooper.
thank you. Sam Bennett
That's why you're
was
here. Thank you.
was a healthy scratch.
I'm a glue guy.
Really?
Yeah, you are the glue guy. We need you.
Who did he replace?
He was a healthy scratch for game one, and John Cooper had to go to him at the beginning of the game or before the game and said, "Hey, listen, like, we're not going to have you play game one. We're going to rest you for hopefully game two." And Sam Bennett immediately said, "Listen, honestly, just being able to wear this uniform and represent my country and being on this trip is worth every second." And he's like, "I'm sorry if I'm like ruining your vacation or anything like that." Because a lot of the NHLers got to have a vacation during this time.
Yeah, Ovi in Florida.
Yeah. And he just basically said, honestly, he's like, "I just feel so much pride to be able to be a part of Canada."
That's what it's
and the
about,
scene."
man.
Marchand said the same thing too.
And he even talked about Marchand.
Mhm.
Exactly. About he had minimal time where he's a freaking captain on the Boston Bruins.
For
And
now.
Yeah, for now.
Yeah.
But the point is, like, all these guys, like, they went all in. Because
Yeah.
I think, like, there might have been 2 or 3 players that had ever played in an Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
The older guys, but that's it.
That's it.
The last international hockey tournament was the World Cup 10 years ago. And most of
Would that be
the
Sid and
younger guys were on Team North America
Dowdy.
anyways.
Drew Dowdy. Who got wrecked. I love watching him get wrecked.
Number
Fuck Drew
89.
Dowdy.
Man, I like my Kings, man, but I did like seeing Drew Dowdy get blasted.
Oh, dude.
Oh, man.
Yo, I love
He's so
McJesus, and I love seeing him get blasted.
Yeah, by Mega.
I mean, that's what I enjoyed about the tournament is like, yeah, you know, you play against, say, like Caps play against Florida, you hate Kachuk, but it's like we all come together as Americans rooting for the team.
Hell yeah.
That made me feel really good because we were all on the same vibe, we were all on the same side. And usually we're always on opposite sides, but it felt nice to be rooting for something at such a big scale.
Yeah.
You know,
And it was a little fucking improv tournament. The NHL came
I thought
out
it was
with.
just going to be a fucking blowover.
They were like, "Hey, we're gonna do
tournament.
this."
I thought it was going to be like an all-star game for like these countries. And
Like a
it
bunch
turned
of
into a
tic-tac-toes.
full competitive balls to the wall
Love how they
fucking
amped it
hockey
up.
tournament.
It was
Yeah.
fucking great.
All the
great.
players bought in like hard. They're like, I mean, it's not like they weren't even sure. Like, oh, we don't know next time we're going to, wear the maple leaf or the red, white, and blue. It's like they know next year they're playing the Olympics, which is arguably bigger, and still like they were all
felt big.
they were all amped up.
bigger.
That was
That
huge.
felt
I wanted
felt
them
bigger.
to do it again. I wanted
Yeah.
4 nations again.
Yeah.
I think all of us do. I think every hockey
The
fan
commissioner
wants to see it.
said, though, that what he can project is that we're going to have the Olympics next year. In 2 years, we're going to have Worlds. And he would like to do that. And then with the Worlds tournament, they're going to offer up 8 countries. So it's going to be an even deeper tournament.
Hell yeah.
So
That'd
would
be
it
nice.
go Olympics,
Worlds.
Every 2 years, basically. I think they
Nations.
said.
They'll do an all-star in between.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Olympics,
All-star.
All-star.
Then
All-Star,
Worlds.
Nation. Okay. Okay. So,
And he
gotcha.
would like. Biz kept like hinting at like, "Yo, are you gonna do another 4 Nations?" Like,
You have to, dude. You can't.
We're so
you can't
sick.
leave the hockey community hanging like that, dude.
You
Like,
could do it every other instead of
Right.
World Cup
Yeah,
every
yeah,
4
yeah,
years.
yeah.
Do World Cup 4 or 8, whatever World
Yeah.
Cup, and do it every other one of those. Just to keep it fresh.
I do enjoy the All Star Weekend where they do like skills stuff and you get to
It's
see who's the fastest.
That's
Kinda
pretty
cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, but not all the time. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
doing
no.
that every other year now is going to make that even more of a better
changing
That's gonna
event.
make it look
Four
cooler.
Nations And right.
Because the guys will be like, yeah, they love playing for the team, but they'll also enjoy the kind of casualness of like, all right, this year's just the All-Star game. Like, let's go have some fun. Let's go, put on a little show, have a joke of a game or whatever. And
Let's go vote in Ryan Reeves, see how he does.
yeah, exactly.
Do you remember that year where the fans voted?
John
for,
Scott.
John Scott and Zemgus Girgensons.
Yeah, from Buffalo. Those dude, the
Yeah.
fans
When was that?
kill it every
That
year.
was a while ago.
Yeah, it was a
But
minute.
John Scott had a hat trick.
Yep, and he fought Patrick Kane.
Patrick Kane, yeah.
Yep,
Love it, dude.
that was a good All-Star game for what it was, anyways. But
Anything else?
Hockey's the best.
Hockey.
Hockey is
Good
the
one.
best.
Hockey's the best, man. Fuck.
I think without a
I
doubt.
can piggyback on that.
Please do.
Hockey has made me who I am and is going to make my kids who they are and made our family, how we operate. And,
Hockey family.
it's just extended, like I said, man, fucking, jeez, I'm going to talk about this again. We started the podcast talking about it. And I'm still going to talk about it. We're growing up here, all the street hockey, and my parents didn't know fucking left from right from hockey. I saw the Mighty Ducks and I was like, that's what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, sweet, here's this stuff we got to play it against sports.
Yeah.
Have fun. And
Yeah.
I'm like, all
So
right,
you've literally been here from point A all the way to where we are right now.
Yep.
Like from the start. That's fucking crazy. So
Yeah.
you've seen
weird.
a fucking Wild West town,
Yep.
with the strip and some lights.
I remember when the Luxor got built. I was in grade school. I
Jeez.
think I was in like grade 3,
So Vegas must be fucking huge to you right now. with
Well,
how
I
much
hate
it's
it.
grown. Yeah. And it's still growing.
Dude, I think I told you not that long ago. I'm like, there's too many fucking people here, dude.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Yeah,
I'm like,
there's
it
a
takes
lot
me
of
20
people.
minutes to go to the damn grocery store. I'm like,
I hate crowds.
We're still, for a big city, like a major city, we're still,
Small city.
I feel like to steal from Reno, we're like a little big city. Because there's like Chicago, New York, LA, like traffic there is like insane.
it's outrageous, dude.
Oh,
I
yeah.
lived in LA for 4 years after high school. It's a
Yeah.
nightmare.
DFW is fucking huge too.
Yeah.
No.
So like we're a big city, but we're not that big.
It's
Yeah.
just like
It kind of works out because I think most of the people, I think it's like 50,000 people a day come to Vegas, but they concentrate on the strip. And then you have all the outlying cities
avoid
where
it.
we all live, and we just use the 215 to get around, and we're fine.
Mhm.
I mean,
Stay away from the riffraff.
no.
tuck that strip.
I'm telling you. But tourists keep coming because,
Yeah,
We like the
kinda
money.
funds the city.
Yeah.
Kind of keeps the lights on.
100% does.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like hockey, molded,
That's so crazy, dude. Yeah.
into now.
Yeah, like you've had such a me growing up in North Carolina, like I know our house, it was all backwoods, and then you go there for years and years, and now
I mean,
I
that's
see like a
considered the
neighborhood
South,
behind
right?
it. Right, but like you being in Vegas, such like a hub, like kind of touristy attraction for you to be here from point A to where we are now and see it grow and see it become a legit hockey town, I think is crazy.
It is.
That's fucking wild, dude. But yeah, that's all I got. 4 Nations and the Gateway. I don't know if you guys have anything.
Yeah, it was an awesome couple of weeks for hockey between the tournament
lot.
and the pride of the red, white, and blue going up. Not how we wanted it to end, but The
We
boys
missed
put
you.
on.
We needed that.
Yeah,
Nate
I was
Rose,
so
slash
mad, dude,
Warford.
because it was, dude, that day before was insane. Like you texted me the day before telling me shit was up, and then the day before the flight, like that was wild for me. Like trying to make sure I still could go with all my arrangements and shit like that, and then that got settled, and I'm like, ah, dude, and then I was like so relieved, and like
Because I was like, you're coming. I was like, we got to get Jake too, and then me, and then all three of us are going.
And then fucking, I was at the same time, I was thinking like, I just got the call earlier, like my meds are going in, so I'm gonna have a great weekend, man. We're gonna go do this live podcast,
Like,
you know.
bring this extra fucking.
Yeah, dude, I'm
One
planning.
microphone.
And then Rob was like, he leans over, he's like, I'm not fucking bringing it.
We were gonna roll it
Dude, it was and then like last minute when it was too late to do anything about it, pharmacist is like, bro, we don't got your meds, man. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, dude, I can't go. It worked out. Like my wife needed me a little bit more, so you know.
And you got to save money. You've been probably.
I still lost the fucking my flight money and my room money. That's
What?
down the drain, gone. Yeah. So I saved food money.
Jeez, dude.
Yeah. But
Start a GoFundMe now.
no, I'm all right.
Or
Wife
OnlyFans.
makes decent money.
You can
so.
sell feet pics, right?
I don't know,
Yeah.
dude. I got some gnarly feet, man. My feet after skating, they're all like veiny and shit, like super pumped up, man.
That'll do
Like
it.
maybe then.
But you got to get skating and not be like, my back hurts.
Dude, I can't. Dude, I'm seeing so much hockey, dude, and all I want to do is go fucking skate and play, and I can't do any of it. Like I've been playing around the house. Like I'll get my stick and I'll just kind of pass with my youngest. He plays hockey.
Why don't you come out this weekend?
What's this weekend?
It's a
VVHF
practice.
March 1st, I'm working a shift trade, and it's
Oh, yeah?
I can't go.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
What day?
Podcast
That day. Firehouse pod.
Come out.
Firehouse.
Get some gloves and just.
I can't. I don't know if I can skate yet. Like if I'm allowed to.
Well, you're not skating in drills. You're just helping out.
I,
Bucks.
I'll call my doctor this week and see if I'm allowed to skate.
He's gonna tell you no.
Every doctor, dude.
He's gonna say no. I'm gonna come out anyways.
You know how it goes. You're an EMS. You know how it goes.
Just don't fall.
Just don't tell my wife. I'm just coming to watch.
Yeah, exactly. You're coming to support.
We'll take a picture, but I won't upload.
This is going to air after the skate, Kara, so sorry.
No, this will air on in 2 days.
She doesn't watch it anyway.
Yeah, she doesn't watch it.
No,
Our
she
wives
does,
have
dude.
not made it this far.
She do, dude.
The watch.
She is probably the first one that watches all of our shit. No kidding. Her Spotify, it's up on her Spotify. She listens to it on Spotify, so
Hell
she's gonna
yeah.
hear all of this shit.
Hell yeah, dude.
I'm so in so much trouble before this weekend.
in so much trouble.
Yep.
She will beat your ass, too.
Yeah, I'll come out whether or not I skate. I'll come out this weekend. You know, wear my jersey and everything like that.
Yeah. Do what you gotta do, man.
See the
Take
boys
care
and
of
all.
FaceTime me from the ice. I'll be bored on shift.
There you go. You said, dude, you just fucked yourself because you said you're gonna be bored, but you're gonna be so busy now.
That's good, because
Busy makes.
No, it's not a fire. It's all homeless.
Said he wants
It's
a
all
fire.
drug
Oh, you say
overdoses.
that.
That's what most fire.
All of that. That's what you're getting.
That was my old station. This is this
Dude,
station.
you're on the bus this weekend for sure.
Don't put that evil on me.
You don't know that unless you're an EMS or, fire or whatever. It's awful.
Yeah.
Just awful.
It's almost 10:30.
Yeah. So it's 10:24. Actually, we got 6 minutes.
Said
What
almost.
can we fill with this?
Yeah. Except for Nate. How will we feel?
I think
Fuck one, marry one, kill one.
for
With NHLers?
with NHLers, dude.
Ovi,
That's-
McDavid, and
Eichel.
Eichel.
Oh, man.
No. In solidarity with Team USA in the Kachuk line, Brady, Matt, Eichel.
Okay,
Fuck,
go
marry,
left to
kill.
Right from the camera angle.
From the camera.
I was like, this is right to left. What are you pointing
No,
at?
from camera.
I was like, stage left or stage right?
Both Kachucks and Ikes.
Fuck one, marry one, kill one.
Mary Jack.
Oh, that's
I got to marry
no-brainer.
Jack. That's a no-brainer.
That's
Bias.
That's my jersey. What do you want?
Yeah. Brady and Matt.
who you fucking who you killing.
That's a hard one, dude. What are you gonna do? I don't want to do either one.
And then
It'll be hard.
Yeah.
That's a difficult one. All right, I'll go. I'd probably fuck Matt Kilbrady. That's where I'm going.
Any reasoning? Just because?
I don't know, man. No reasons. Just kind of how it fell in my head.
That's what I went in my heart.
We got to do different ones for him. I feel like we should do
What?
different for
Okay.
each
All
one.
right, fine.
I don't know the other lines,
do the
though.
Fucking Russian line for this motherfucker.
I mean, we could throw Ovi in his.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, give me some 3 randos.
Give him 3 randos.
Ovi, Marner, sorry.
O.V. Marner.
And
Slavin.
Who?
Slavin.
Yeah, there you go.
No, Hellebuck.
Hellebuck.
Oh, Helly.
Man. Okay, so
I don't think you can kill him.
Oh, I got 3 for you too.
no, I'll kill Marner because I don't like the way he looks. I'll marry Hellebuck because he looks like he makes great sandwiches.
Dude, I bet he
Fuck
cooked.
Obi for obvious reasons.
Dude, I bet
Not biased.
Not biased. Yeah.
I bet Helly fucks in the kitchen,
Yeah,
bro, for
yeah.
sure.
Autograph. What'd you say?
I said I bet Helly fucks in the kitchen for sure.
Oh, dude, for sure. It makes eat like you know how you think of like Wonder Bread sandwiches. This motherfucker gets a baguette, slices tomatoes. And
No. He made that fucking bread, bro. He made that shit. You've been smelling that sandwich all day because that bread's been cooking. You're just sitting there gaming. You're like,
oh my god, he's gonna make
been
the
smelling
Jets
that
logo
bread
with the
all
mayo
day.
and then press it down.
hell yeah, dude.
All
All
right,
right, for you,
That's what we got for him.
we have
it's got to be Golden Knights for this guy.
no, it's goalies.
Ooh, okay.
All goalies.
We have Brodeur. We have Fleury. And then we have
Quick.
no, I'm trying to think of his name. Who's this guy from Florida? Longo.
Luongo.
Oh, Luongo.
Ooh.
All right. Kill Flurry. No.
Whoa!
I
Got
wanted to
it.
say
Wrap. No, you're done. You're done.
No. I wanted to say kill Brodeur because he's fucking with flurries. I'm a little bit buzzed. I wanted to say, so what meant to actually come out of my mouth was kill Brodeur because he's fucking with Flurry's records.
We should have done this at the beginning of the pod, dude.
You gotta clip that now.
Yeah.
Kill Brodeur.
Okay.
Marry Flurry.
Okay.
Ooh.
And then fucking...
You're gonna...
Luongo.
Longo.
Why?
Why not?
would you
He's
wrong?
got nice hair.
All right.
He's got nice hair.
Yep. Hey man, that's your preference, dude.
I mean, something to pull on.
Okay.
I like that you think you'll be doing the polling
I was
in
gonna
that
say that. I was gonna
situation.
say the same thing. I was gonna say
That's
the
a-
same thing.
that's a
I like
deep
how
reach
you
back.
think you're that guy.
Yeah.
You think you're that guy.
Oh boy. All right.
Who you got for
So
me?
he's got
Names.
Patrick Kane
Well, let's
Patrick Kane.
Let's do Chicago alumni.
Betsy.
Okay.
and
Kaner,
Chelios.
Bedsy, Chelios. Fuck one, marry one, kill one.
Okay, this could be controversial. I'm gonna kill Chelly.
What?
I'm gonna kill Chelios.
Oh, he was in that commercial with Samuel Jackson.
Get out of my garage.
My mom loved Chelios, dude. I can't. That's
Is
weird.
it the spray tan?
Probably, yeah. So let's see. Kill Chelios.
Listener of the pod.
Oh,
This is where it is.
This is where the line is thin.
I'm gonna marry Betsy.
Oh, you
Yo,
fucking pedophile.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
You Cradle Robin son of a bitch.
It's odd, but he's a dedicated dude. I'm sure it'll be a good marriage. And then yeah, I'm fucking Patty.
Dang,
Yeah.
he's fucking Patty.
Yeah, fucking Patty.
Fucking Patty.
Hashtag fucking Patty.
All right.
I just want to go on the record. This is the weirdest Marry Fuck Kill I've ever done.
Yeah,
We should do these
dude.
more often. That was kind of fun.
Yeah, that was wild. Probably. I hope you made it this far in to see it. I'm out of
Millennial
12
pause.
strong.
We haven't done a millennial pause in a while.
Millennial
Shout out,
pause.
Jake.
Hopefully this is our best podcast and you enjoyed it because we enjoyed the fuck out of it. A lot of cursing in it. Sorry, YouTube. But yeah, thanks for watching. Big shout out to Drew Boyd and the St. Louis Blues Warriors hockey program for hosting us and being on Drew for being on the podcast this week. Love you guys. Thanks for watching.
Vegas hockey, baby.
Yeah.